Oh, boy.
All right.
Hey guys, what's going on? Of course, Brian here on Saturday night for the Solo podcast. And by solo, I mean Jay. In the
Hi, what's up, guys?
room.
How you doing,
right.
Brian?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. It's
Great
been a
shit.
busy day today at the Reptarium.
Yes, it has.
It's
Jam-packed.
Really, I mean, I looked at that schedule today and I was like, holy moly. There was not 1 minute
Of free time.
break. I mean, it started at 10 o'clock in the morning. We were here, obviously, earlier than that, filming and stuff. And it literally goes till 9 o'clock tonight without 1 second of a break. So it's been a busy day, but it's been a good day. And we're very grateful for the people that have endured and come and visit us. So it's really good. So as it always works here at the Saturday Night Podcast, I answer your questions. Go ahead, super chat me anything you want. I talk about stories from the past of reptiles or the future of reptiles or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And you know, you guys kind of create the narrative.
You guys drive the ship.
Yeah, you guys drive the ship
know?
with the super chat. So feel free to hit me as you want, and I will answer your questions as we go. In the meantime, you know, things are heating up here at the BHB.
Oh,
And you know, starting to get eggs. You know, it's
super exciting.
It's really cool. And you know, it kind of made me think about the past when I really started. I've told the story a million times that, you know, my first snake was really a Burmese python. Yeah. Then I got a ball python. Then I actually got a boa. So those were my first 3 snakes. But then I really became a colubrid guy: corn snakes, king snakes, milk snakes, stuff like that. And I think the reason I did that was twofold. Number one, I could fit more animals in a smaller area.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And there was so much variety. And I think maybe the other thing is that we knew that, you know, primarily boas and pythons take longer to get to age.
Right.
And I wanted to produce snakes. You know what I mean? I wanted to
You were
produce
like, you're
snakes.
eager. You
Yeah,
know?
so I bought a lot of colubrids. You know, I think that when I started out with the 3 snakes, I think that I lived in my mom's basement, right? You know, typical, you know.
Typical snake breeder.
Yeah, typical snake breeder basement guy.
Yeah,
living in my mama's basement. But of course I was 15, so you know, give
me a break.
Yeah, give me a little bit of a break. But you know, I had probably about 10 or 12 snakes in my bedroom before I moved into like the rest of the basement, you know. And what it first started was I built a room, probably not much bigger than this room here, to be honest with you. And there was like one row of like, again, there was no manufactured cages back then. So there was like one cage of you know, like wooden cages that were for the bigger snakes that I was going to keep, Burmese pythons and stuff like that, Dumerils, boas, and so on. And then beyond that, I had like shoebox and sweater box racks. Now, of course, back then there was lids to them. You know,
really?
So yeah, you didn't have like a drawer that didn't have a lid. You actually had a box with a lid that slid into a slot.
Oh, okay.
Because no one had come up with the
perfect size,
ingenious thought of you know, making a one without. As a matter of fact, what ultimately happened, I was thinking about with the podcast moving forward, you know, trying to reach out to some of the old timers to get them on.
So cool.
As a matter of fact, I did reach out to Bill Brandt today, who ran the Gourmet Rodent. Of course, they supply all of Petco with all of their animals. So Bill basically took, you know, he was old timer back in the 60s, probably late 60s, early 70s, working with snakes, and he really wrote the book on a lot of things. I mean, like, he was the first person to mass produce leopard geckos. He was the first person to learn to cycle reptiles a different way, you know. And what I mean by that is instead of just one cycle a year, he would like, okay, these colubrids hibernate October through, you know, November, and they come up, and when they come up, the group that they're breeding goes down into a
like different colonies.
Yeah, and he would do 3 or 4 or 5 colonies a year.
Wow.
So he was hatching colubrids and leopard geckos and other animals year round, you know. So because of course Petco doesn't just need animals one, you know, through the summer, they need them year round. And of course the last thing you want to do is, you know, from a business standpoint, is produce in June and then have to keep those animals all the way till the following June because your profit margin goes down so much because you're feeding year round, you know. And so he really came up with so much innovation. And then about 5 years or so ago, he sold the Gourmet Rodent to a guy named Mike Mailman, who was his manager that managed the Gourmet Rodent. And but Bill was the one that grew it from nothing, it was just him and his wife Marcia, to, I think when Bill sold, they had about 80 employees or 90 employees in a pretty massive facility too. Giant facility. So anyways, point is that I talked to Bill today via text. he's just a very he's a great thinker, right?
Yeah.
He's not just a reptile guy. He was always a reptile guy, but he was a great thinker, and he really changed the game. He was probably top. Again, people don't know who Bill Brandt is, but he was probably top 5 most influential people in the reptile world over the last 25 years.
That's insane.
And but he could walk around Tinley Park and no one would know who he is,
Yeah.
which I find interesting. So I text with Bill. Now, again, Bill's a little bit older, probably in his early 70s. And I texted him this morning and said, "Hey, Bill, first off, are you traveling right now? And second off, would you want to come up and do the podcast?" And so, he responded really quickly, like he always does, because the thing I loved about Bill was he always talked about. He said, "I'm not in the reptile business. I'm in the relationship business."
I love that. Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. So he was really great, always about responding to me, even when he was the busiest person on the planet, because he was so busy. Yet he always was such a mentor to me. And so he responded pretty quickly, and he just said, "I'm not traveling right now." He said, "Since COVID, I've not gone anywhere at all." And he said, "I don't know when I'm going to start traveling again." He said, "But when I do, I would love to come up."
That's so cool.
So I think that it'll be a really good one. And so now I'm kind of going through my address book, so to speak, and trying to think of the people I can maybe get on that aren't the normal people that you see on MJ's or
I would
any of the
love
other
that,
people.
dude.
So let's hit a couple. We just have a couple super chats. Like I said, if you guys have some questions, hit me up in the super chats. We'll hit a couple right now. We just have a couple, and then we'll keep on rolling. Again, you guys, make the ship go.
Clistia says, "Hello, Brian and Jay. Hope all is well."
Hey, Clistia, I appreciate you. I know that we had a lot of fun with you on Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
So you're great. I appreciate you.
And then Sammy Young says, "Off topic a bit, but will you ever have a paranormal podcast?"
Yeah, so we had the Motor City Paranormal Group on the podcast once. You can go back in the podcast. It was called Been Wondering. That was what originally Saturday nights were supposed to be what we were going to be called Been Wondering. So essentially you had, Wednesday you had checking in, which was the family, then Noah was Thursday, Friday-ish, which was going to be choices, and then Been Wondering was supposed to be Saturday night, which was me, my curiosity of the world, really, and wanting to know things about all kinds of things, whether it's science, whether it's paranormal, whether religion. We had obviously Brother Clint on, who's an exorcist minister. So that was the original plan, and then of course COVID kind of really it was hard to get in-person guests. People weren't traveling as much, so ultimately that's where Snake Talk kind of was birthed,
right.
and it was just kind of like a solo podcast of me talking about reptiles, answering your guys' questions in the super chats, and just kind of having fun. And so, but I want to get back to some of that Been Wondering stuff for sure.
Agree.
I think that's something I want to do. We're just talking about it today, and like I said, so I think what's going to happen, and this is just, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I think that we will do some solo Snake Talk type podcasts similar to this, where maybe once or twice a month or whatever the number is.
Right.
We'll just, it's really about me being able to have a conversation with you guys and answering your questions and letting you run the narrative of the podcast. And then we'll probably have 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever the case may be, where we have, say we have 3 guests a month, maybe 2 of those guests are going to be reptile guests. Like I was talking, I'm going kind of through my address book and thinking of some of the people that are the players that were very crucial to the growth of the reptile hobby, but maybe now are outside the reptile hobby, or are still players, but people don't really know about them and have never heard about them. Because, I think MJ does a really good job of diversifying his guests for sure. Yeah. And he's probably one of the most prolific of it, because I don't know how many podcasts he does a week.
He does a lot.
But I know he has like Trap Talk, and then he has multiple things. And then, but we're all kind of, have some constraints right now about like who we want. And of course, MJ does mainly Zoom call type stuff, StreamYard stuff. We want to have in-person guests if at all possible, because I think it's just just a better podcast,
Better atmosphere.
So hopefully, as the summer goes on and stuff like that, we can do a little bit more of bringing people in. What do we have?
Absolutely. Future Reptarium employee says,
yeah.
"What's up, guys? Brian, Reptile Army merch is insane, and I'm having a hard time picking which one to buy today. I'm stuck on the Monroe or the Monitor Lisa.
Oh, those are two good ones.
Also, my teeth fillings are all good.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you are good. It's awesome. Thank you so much. And those are good ones.
I agree.
Those are good ones. We have a couple bangers coming out next month too, that I really like, and we have a couple. Obviously, we're going to just keep on pushing. Obviously, Reptile Army to me is it's a really big project for me personally.
Yeah.
Whether or not it turns into a huge success or not, I don't know, because the way I look at Reptile Army is that it's an opportunity to grow a community that isn't necessarily Brian Barczyk's community.
Right.
It's a Reptile Army community. Yeah, maybe the Reptile Army will be based in our following, but at the same time, I want the Reptile Army to be people that don't even know who I am, and that just want to wear a Monitor Lisa shirt, and when someone sees it, they go, "What the heck? That is so cool! Where'd you get that shirt?"
Yeah.
And then they could be like, "Oh, well, I happen to keep reptiles." Blah 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 blah. And then ultimately, obviously, some of the proceeds go to USARK. Other proceeds may go to other charities. It may go to just expanding the educational outreach that we work on. I can assure you, none of this money is going to go into buying me a Rolex. I can assure you guys that. But so it's a pet project of mine that I shouldn't even say a pet project. It's a very important project of mine. Yeah. And up until now, really the only really reptile clothing brand or apparel brand has been EcoWear, right? Yeah. And EcoWear is great. Don't get me wrong, but EcoWear is very forward. It's a leopard gecko. It's not a cute shirt, unless you want a cute leopard gecko on your shirt.
Yeah, it's literal.
Yeah, it's very literal. And it's really, EcoWear is really primarily, the majority of their sales go to national parks.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So when you go to a national park and you go into the gift shop, oftentimes the shirts and hats you see are EcoWear.
Okay, that makes sense. I've seen them before.
So they're more suited for that type of an audience. So there's really no other, and that doesn't mean that other people don't have merch. Of course, people have merch. I've had merch for years, and everyone has merch that does things. But there hasn't been like a reptile brand, apparel brand, other than EcoWear. And I wanted to, because you guys know I like to wear silly shirts. And I like to wear goofy things. It fits my brand very well, and so hopefully, the launch was great. We had a really good first week, as good as I could have expected. But now the question is the longevity. Can this build to something where it's not just like a merch drop,
right?
Where like, all right, the 150 people that wanted to buy merch bought the merch, and now they don't. They maybe next month they might buy more, but that's it. What it really comes down to is the movement has to go from 150 or 200 people that are buying merch to thousands of people that are buying merch because they believe in this like cool movement.
And that comes down to a lot of our fans too, right? Them wearing the stuff and actually going out and talking about it and being that front line to people about, hey, this is cool. This is reptile stuff. And the way that me and Brian talked about it is like, you see dog and cat people, they have cool, cute shirts.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that you see it and you're like, oh, like I love my grand dog or whatever,
Yeah.
This is that for reptiles. So now it like takes the sensitivity down from everybody. They get desensitized to these animals,
Yeah, and that's the goal of this whole thing, and hopefully it goes well. It's something we've worked a long time on. Longer than any other merch type drop because this was an apparel line. It isn't just hey, buy a shirt or a hoodie.
We went through the designs with everybody. We did all the text, everything.
It took a lot of energy to get to where we are now, and again, to get ourselves in a position where next month we can add 10 more designs or more, and then every month continuing to add. So thank you, and I think you'll like the stuff that's coming up soon as well. So it's good stuff.
Josh Vanellen, our boy.
Hey, Josh, what's up, man?
He says, how's it going, guys? Been a minute since I caught a live stream. Looking forward to getting our babies ID'd.
Yeah, so Josh is going to probably, and when I say probably, I just want to make sure that tomorrow, I know I have a tour between 1 and 2 tomorrow.
Okay.
And then, of course, before that, we're going to be filming the vlog. So the question is Josh wants to bring up some babies that he hatched out, which, by the way, congratulations, Josh.
Congrats, Josh. That's awesome.
It's awesome that he hatched
ball
pythons. And they're really dope ones, really good, but it's one of those things where it's like in pictures it's almost impossible to ID.
Yeah.
And even in person it's sometimes hard to ID, to be quite frankly. If you know the pairing, which he does, it helps, and you can have a very, very educated guess. And I typically take the kind of task where I ID things to what I know it is, not what I think it is.
Yeah,
right?
if there's a think, you leave it out, right?
Yeah, so if it's a potentially a 4-gene animal, but I can really see 3 genes, I'm going to say it's a 3-gene animal with the potential for the 4th gene. But I don't like when people say, oh, there's 4 genes in there, and then in actuality, then you raise it up, you breed it, and the 4th gene isn't actually in there.
Right.
So anyway, so Josh is going to come up and hang out, and we'll ID those snakes. Josh probably after 2.
Perfect.
It's probably the timing that's going to work for us. After 2:15, let's say, because my tours usually go 15 minutes or so long. So, but we'll look forward to seeing you, Josh.
V-Dog says, what was your favorite egg cutting and why?
Whew,
that's a hard one.
It's a tough one because, every egg cutting is so different, I think the ones that you get a surprise in is probably the ones that really leave you, with the memory, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that, when you get like the albino twins that we got 2 years in a row.
Mystery clutch.
The mystery clutch when we're cutting that, and every egg is like, what is this? I did not expect this to happen.
Super lord leopards was cool.
Yeah, the super lord leopards. The list goes on and on. Really, it's almost impossible to pick. Just like when someone says, what's your favorite snake or what's your favorite reptile? There's so many different levels, you know what I mean? And I can't wait to get to egg cutting. We just put the 14th clutch in the incubator today.
Which is awesome, man.
So and the thing that's great is that means that we're still not even 10% to the way.
I know. There's 100 left, right?
Yeah, there's probably 150 clutches, 145 clutches left to be laid.
That's so nuts.
And that means that there's going to be, 150, 160 clutches to cut too. Now we made the decision, interestingly enough, that we probably will not cut all those clutches on the vlog. Right. We may cut all those clutches and film them, but we're probably not going to have 150 clutches on the vlog. We did it last year where we had 162 clutches, I believe, last year. And I think we had 145 clutches or something like that. And I think what's interesting is that, like, people just get desensitized to it, and they're kind of like, all right,
After a few weeks, they're like, all right, how many times you got cut an egg, mister? Yeah,
so we're, number one, we've talked a lot about how we can, for those of you guys that haven't noticed, I mean, the vlog is structured a little bit different over the last few weeks, where we're a lot more fast-paced. We often talk about, if we have a 3-minute segment, we now make that into a 1.5-minute segment, trying to cover the same thing we would have covered in 3 minutes, but now covering it in a 1.5 minutes.
Cut the fat.
Cut all the fat out. And then, so with the egg cutting, oftentimes a typical clutch would be anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes.
Yeah, depending on how many eggs.
So we're going to try to, reduce that down to 2.5 to 3 minutes for a clutch, which is going to be challenging. We're going to have to work on how to do that.
The format's really going to be what we need to work on.
And we'll probably, maybe we will cut all 150, 160 clutches on the vlog, or a film, but we may pick 50, 60 clutches to actually show.
And I wonder, do you think I don't know if it's possible. I've just seen other people do it, so we'll just talk about it real quick. But to do something like with Patreon or something like that, or Joiner on YouTube, where it's like, if people wanted to see the other clutches, we could do that. I don't know, just food for thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, there's members on YouTube, so we could always put out member videos just for members or something like that. Yeah, it's something to think about. I don't know the answer. I guess that's something that you guys can decide.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, what basically happens is that everything we do is really, weirdly enough, you may think we make all the decisions, but we really make the decisions based on your reactions.
Yep.
I mean, if the views are good, then we do more of it. If the views are bad, we do less of it. If the podcast does this, then we do this. I mean, even like with the Saturday nights. I mean, if you guys super chat, we're going to be here for 2.5 hours. If you guys don't super chat, we're going to be here for an hour. You know, I mean, it's
driven by you guys.
Yeah. I mean, everything is driven by you guys, and so we'll wait to see how it goes.
Ray says, "Hey guys, super glad I caught the podcast. I've been struggling hard with depression, and watching y'all always helps. Brian, what snake would you recommend that has a similar look to a cowrie tick? I'm in Florida."
So first off, I hope that your depression gets better. I know mental health is something that I'm obviously very passionate about. I mean, it's been a very, storied, thing that I've struggled with anxiety over the last 14 months. Definitely getting better, much, much, much better. I'm still not 100% there. I still have a little bit of issues here and there that creep up on me. Not going to lie, this Monday I get, my second vaccine, and I'm a little bit nervous about the reaction to that. And it's funny, speaking of, I'm just going to get off topic for 1 second. I was shocked at how vitriolic people were about me getting vaccinated. I mean, like I would like to see everyone vaccinated because for one reason, I think that's the quickest way for us to get back to normal.
Right.
I wish we didn't have to get vaccinated. I wish I didn't have to get vaccinated. Of course. I mean,
duh.
But we are in a global pandemic, and you can argue all kinds of things about, did the government do the right thing by shutting things down? Did they do the right things about masks? Did they do the right things about? You can argue all that, and I don't want to get into those topics. And but to me, it's a personal choice. I am not going to tell anyone what to do. There are people in my family that have chosen not to get vaccinated. I have no problem with that. I do not, chastise them about that and say, you better get vaccinated. I'm not that. But we just had a piece where we were talking about my vaccine card.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, man, you would have thought I just crushed a baby penguin out.
Like with your car, right? Right on Van Dyke?
Yeah, like I threw it out there and ran it over. I mean, people got so upset.
It shouldn't be like, that's the one thing I don't like is how political like a health thing is. You know what I mean? Like that shouldn't be a political thing.
Yeah, and a couple people even said like, your medical businesses, should be your business and you shouldn't talk about it. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I talked about every time I've talked about my anxiety. I've talked about when I've been sick in the past.
When you got surgery.
When I got surgery in the ear, I took you guys into the surgery.
But now it's a big deal because it's political.
Yeah, because it's political. And I don't want to make it political. I just want to, I've made the personal choice. A lot of my crew, not all of my crew, have made the personal choice to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And it's your choice whether you want to or not. I think if you choose to, we will get through this quicker. If you choose not to, we will go through this slower. And that's just going to be the way it's going to be.
Just science, baby.
But anyways, I digressed a little bit on that one.
No, you're good, dude. She also wanted to know what snake would be close to a cowrie tick.
Oh, yeah. So if you wanted to do like a palmetto corn,
that's
a smaller corn. It's a smaller snake. It looks very similar to a cow reticulated python, and they're really beautiful. So that may be a good option for you. Something that looks like a retic but stays a corn snake size.
Yeah.
And because there's not really much else. The only other thing, and you can punch these up really quick.
Yeah.
Magpie ball pythons. Or I mean blood pythons.
Okay. I have seen them.
I totally was silly.
No, you're good, dude. You're
good.
good.
You'll see the and you can get an idea. You can just check on the images and just click a beautiful one or whatever.
This one looks sick.
And I mean you could kind of see.
Oh, that's a fun.
That's
a keychain.
But it's they almost look like it. There's not a keychain.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of like what a magpie.
They're really pretty.
Blood looks like. Not quite a cow retic, but if you want something that's bigger than a corn snake, but not as big as a retic, the magpies might be your option. They're a little bit pricey, but so are cow retics. I'm not even sure. Yeah, those are the palmetto corns.
Yeah, these are so pretty, man.
So
I love
again,
these.
you can kind of really see how the similarities between a cow retic and a palmetto corn, but obviously they stay small.
Yeah, this is definitely like one of my favorite colubrids out there, and if you get one, name it Autumn. Beautiful.
Autumn, exactly. So, but yeah, I think that'll work out for you. And again, I pray for you that your depression gets better.
Absolutely. Clistia came back to say, I bought 2 of the Fear Me shirts. Do you know when it'll be shipped? I also really enjoyed Wednesdays. I'm guessing Wednesday's video.
Wednesday's podcast. Yeah.
Wednesday's podcast. Yeah,
because we're messing with her.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And I think that Noah said some things too.
We came back on Thursday, baby.
And had some fun stuff. So
we love her.
As far as shipping, I think it will be relatively soon. I think that It'll probably be sometime early this week, I think. I in all disclosure, in fairness, this is the first time I've worked with this company. But the reason I'm working with this company as opposed to the other company, which, by the way, I used to work with Teespring.
Yeah.
I still work with Spring. I still have some stuff.
Is this some tea?
They were pissed at me. They were not happy that I went to this other company called Fourth Wall. Fourth Wall is actually run by Philip DeFranco.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I know that he's a YouTuber. He's worked with Fanjoy, Teespring. He's worked with all of them, and he launched a company. I'm not sure if there's all other principals, owners of the company or not, but it's his name behind it. And he's a very stand-up guy. I've met Phil. I've worked with Phil.
He's my first YouTuber I watched every day.
Well, interesting enough, when I met Phil and we did a collab together, I told him he was the first channel I ever subscribed to.
Interesting. That was my first one too.
Hell yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, first channel I ever subscribed to was Philip DeFranco.
He's the bomb, man.
And so we had a great time, and I really respect him. And one of my managers has worked with Fourth Wall before, and they talk about the quality, the service, everything about this company is supposed to be top notch. Where I was. Not that Teespring was bad, and it still is not bad. As a matter of fact, they rebranded to Spring now instead of Teespring.
Right.
And I'll still work with Spring on some merch drops here and there. But I did have some issues with them not getting product out quick enough, and having some issues with things like that. So.
Switched lanes a little bit.
So we switched lanes. I got a bunch of samples from Fourth Wall. I really love the quality. I love the quality of the print. I love the quality of everything they did. I love some of their the bells and whistles that they have on the back end of it.
Yeah.
Meaning that, I didn't even I haven't done any because I've been so busy, and I'm so sorry. But I can literally do a cameo to people that bought from Fourth Wall.
No way, really?
Yeah, so I've got an app on my phone. Every person
sick.
that bought, I can send a personal message to.
Hey, thanks for joining the army. Yeah, that's so sick.
But the problem
dude.
is it's hard for me. I mean, it's going to take many hours for me to get back to everyone. My plans are to eventually do that. Just to say thanks, for what you do. So, but my understanding is I think the first stuff will be shipped out early next week.
Jerica Potterhead, she asks, can I message Jay to book a VIP for the end of May? It's her birthday, Potterhead's birthday. Now, we don't have all the stuff running for VIP, but we can make it happen for Potterhead,
we can make it happen for you anyways.
Yeah, so you got it.
Yeah, we got you. No
Message
problem.
me, girl.
Yeah, and we hope that we'll have,
It's Brian, don't even, dude.
I mean, it's just some technical things that I don't understand why we just can't quite figure some things out, and we've got someone working on it that is struggling a little bit with some of it. Great guy, and
love him with all my heart.
He helped us out a ton, but we haven't quite gotten.
We haven't mastered the thing enough to feel comfortable.
Comfortable selling the VIP experience yet, but for you, we got you.
And then Josh came back to say, sounds perfect, Brian. Thank you.
Cool, man. Just text me. He's got my number.
Yeah, bring the crazy brownies.
Yeah, text me. Oh, please, no brownies.
Yeah, but everyone was dead.
I almost lost my crew to those brownies.
Dude, they were the best, bro.
We almost had to shut the Reptarium down for a week.
Ooh, yeah, they were strong.
So no brownies. But that being said, text me just to make sure nothing else come up. But I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
Sweet Brandy says, I got to meet Brian Cusco, Jason from JH Pythons, and Dov Kaufman today at NARBC Arlington. The only thing that could have made it better would have been to meet y'all. Y'all need to go to the fall one.
First off, thank you. And yeah, I saw that Arlington. I wonder how the show went. I didn't see any feedback.
I know we were talking about that this morning.
How the show was. I saw a couple pictures, but it was 10:30 in the morning, and I'm not even sure when it was open. It didn't look like many people were there at 10:30 in the morning. I don't know if that was taken earlier in the day before it was open. I have no idea, so I don't know what the turnout was down there. Hopefully, it was good, and hopefully, it was successful. And I'm glad that you got a chance to meet some of the people you wanted to meet. As far as us going, it's hard to say. So let me just be completely freaking honest with you guys. You like me when I'm honest, right?
Yeah.
I was planning on, and still may, but I was originally planning on going to the NARBC in Chicago, in Schaumburg in June. And first off, so my buddy Scott that runs the All Animal Expo is doing some kangaroos at his show. It's the same weekend, and so I was like, hey Scott, I can come to your show on Saturday, and then I'll go over and spend Saturday night at the NARBC in Schaumburg, and then maybe spend the first few hours of Sunday in Schaumburg, and then head home. and that was the plan. I still may go. I don't know. But you know, it's tough, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. There are a good number of people that will be in that room that I'd really love to punch in the face, right?
Yeah.
And these are people that take every opportunity to bash me. And so it's really difficult for me to want to even be in the room with those people. You know what I mean?
No, I understand 100%.
And there's a lot of people in that room that will treat me like I'm the best thing in the world to my face, but then bash the hell out of me behind my back. I'm not that guy. I will tell you to your face if I don't like you. I will tell you to the face if I have a problem with you. I have no problem with that. Now, I'm not a confrontational guy. I'm an honest guy, and I'm not going to treat someone nice that I don't like. And so I know by going there, I am going to run into several, maybe more than several people that if they come up to me, I'm not going to have pleasant things to say to them because I know they have said negative things about me and tried to, there have been people that have attacked me for my mental health. There are people that have attacked me for things that are not reasonable to attack me on. Now, does it bother me? I mean, sure, of course it bothers you. Does it affect me? No, I don't care. It's their problem, not my problem. But it does make me not want to go to the NARBC in Chicago and quite frankly, any reptile show. So will I go? I don't know. Maybe. There's some people there I'd like to see. There's no doubt about it. Obviously, friends like Brian Cusco I'd like to see, and Miguel from Always Evolving Pythons. My friends from Canada will not be there, which is a bummer. I'd love to see, Barros and Billy and all those guys, but they aren't going to be able to come because of the quarantine. I don't know. It's tough. As far as Arlington, I don't know. And I am going to plan on going down to Texas soon, though, for two reasons. Number one, I had a YouTuber / TikToker / Instagrammer that has a pretty good following, millions and millions of people following, that asked if I could come down and do collab with them.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so I think I'm going to go do that. But more importantly, Lori wants to go to the Dallas World Aquarium.
Interesting. Really?
She wants to go to several aquariums before we really get deep into this.
Get your toes wet, no pun intended.
She understands what it is. I've been traveling to zoos and aquariums my whole life. Lori's been to some, but not nearly as many as me. So So we're gonna probably head to the Dallas World Aquarium. I hope within the next So I want to go to the Dallas World Aquarium and I want to go to Florida in the next couple months.
Yeah.
What that means, I don't know. The only thing that gets difficult right now, I'm not gonna lie to you, is that we now have eggs being laid.
I know.
So it gets really tricky. Like I can't kind of leave without leaving someone in charge of eggs. And if something goes wrong, let's say we get this really banger clutch, that might be a very, very rare clutch. And the clutch goes bad because someone pulled the clutch wrong.
Yeah.
It's not that I would be mad at them. I don't want to put my crew in that position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want them to feel the pressure of like, oh my gosh, if this clutch gets bad, Brian's going to think that I effed it up.
Yeah.
And ultimately they would have if that would have been the case. And that's something I like to pull clutches.
Try to take the responsibility for it,
I
right?
like to take the responsibility. So that's the only tricky part. The next couple months is going to be full of eggs, ball pythons, colubrids, and spotted pythons and all that type of stuff. And I don't know that I want to.
That is a harder one, especially with you and Lori.
Yeah. And we are definitely going, because of Lori's birthday, we're going to Florida in the middle of July.
Hit that Disney?
100%. Yeah, we're going to I'm doing a couple days at Disney. And then obviously I'm hoping you're coming down, Jay.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because you got family down there and stuff. So Mama.
I'm down,
Mama
dude.
Tomsky.
Hell yeah.
And so I figure we'll do a couple days, but then we'll go do the circuit. We'll go do the Florida circuit and go hit everybody. And then I think that Lori and the whole fam are going to spend 4 days in Disney. I'm going to do 2 of the 4. I'm going to do Epcot, which is going to be on Lori's birthday, and then I'm going to do Animal Kingdom.
Oh, that's so badass.
And then they can do Magic Kingdom and
all the other bells and whistles.
Whatever the other ones without me. And we can go run around, hit Gatorland, go do whatever, and just go spend. And then when they come back, we'll end up staying down there maybe for another week or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Laura came to say, I have sent 2 pictures of the coloring book. I hope you all got to see them. Are bearded dragons venomous? ? Brian and Jay, lots of love to you.
Well, thank you so much. I have seen a ton of pictures that Steph has shared with me.
Oh, hell yeah.
That I've seen them. So I'm sure I probably have seen yours. So I'm sorry I don't know exactly which one it was, but I've been trying to look at all the ones I can. I hope that you've enjoyed the coloring part of it. Thank you so much. Bearded dragons are definitely not venomous, but that doesn't mean that there's not proteins within their saliva that are slightly advanced, right? So I don't know anybody ever that has been bitten by a bearded dragon that has had an adverse effect. Nobody, not one person. But now if you took a saliva sample to somebody that was going to
test for like the enzymes and
test
venom.
for the enzymes and the proteins, there could be something in there. But I don't know anyone that's ever had an adverse reaction whatsoever to beardeds.
Helly or Hell, whatever, says, hi, just wanted to say hello from Denmark and to tell you I'm really enjoying your vlog and checking in.
Well, thank you so much from Denmark. That's a place I have never been.
It's a beaut.
It'd be a place I would love to visit. It's so funny, there's so many places in the world that are just so intriguing to me.
Right.
And unfortunately, I know there's going to be, when I die, whether that's, a week or 200 years from now. I know there's going to be places I didn't get to, and that sucks, and that's why I love following some of these world travelers that literally travel for a living, and my one guy that I occasionally communicate with, Drew Binsky, he's on his last 3 countries.
Wow, how does that feel?
And he's been very fortunate because he did obviously stop traveling. He was supposed to finish last year.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
And he stopped. He had like maybe 12 or 14 countries left. And what a bummer, he got stuck. And but he ended up getting back on the road. A couple of the other guys that I know that were world travelers, like that Viking guy. That is trying to travel to every country, and I think he has less than 7 countries left.
Right.
Without flying.
Yeah, all on boats.
He's been stuck in Hong Kong since the beginning of the thing, and he's still in Hong Kong.
Oh, no.
And that's a bummer. I don't know when he's going to finish his saga. But my point is that I guys like, I follow several guys like that. This Drew is three countries away, and I think would it be cool to have seen every country? And I just know that that's not in my game. It's just not going to happen. I mean, if I could get to, half the countries, I would be very, very happy. But that means that there's half the world that I will not see in my lifetime.
Isn't that crazy?
And that sucks because I mean, places like Denmark, I would love to go. Do I have a reason to go there? I don't know. You know what I mean? And so that may be a country I never get to. But then again, maybe I will. I don't know.
Who knows what the future holds, right?
But I hope things are well there in Denmark. You seem like a beautiful country.
Ben's Balls.
He
says, what's your favorite single gene morph? Love the vlogs.
That's a great question.
It is a really good one.
Again, I can never answer that question because I love so many different genes. Obviously pinstripes are very special to me because we founded them. Sunsets are very special to me because we founded them. And several other morphs that we founded are special to me. But then, I love like what Orange Dream does to stuff. I think that's amazing. I love pieds, because pieds are really what got me going with ball pythons. It's a picture of a piebald ball python that was brought in the 70s is really what got me so interested in ball pythons. Buying my first albino ball python from a guy named Jamie Quick was one of the most exhilarating things. It was down in Tampa. It was at a reptile show in Tampa, Florida. It was $15,000 for a female. Jeez. At that time, there was probably 5 people in the world that had albino ball pythons. And I remember handing over $15,000 cash to Jamie and getting this little snake. But I remember literally going up to the hotel room that night. It was obviously we were there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was the show. And Friday night, ironically enough, it was a tropical storm.
I've heard about this story.
It wasn't the hurricane.
This is a different one.
Yeah,
okay.
I was in a Hurricane Charlie for a show, and then I was in a tropical storm for this particular show. And it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't like it was weird. It was like it rained for 4 days. You know what I mean? Like just continuous rain. It was, and there was some wind, but it wasn't terrible at all. But I remember going back to the hotel room and literally me and Lori like laying on the bed and we're watching TV, and I just like held this albino
just
ball
staring at it.
Just held this albino. It was like I was holding the golden crystal.
Like
the crystal
canary
skull,
diamond or whatever.
It's the crown jewels.
Yeah,
and so there's so many, you know.
All right, let's go based off of just looks of one gene, not like what it'll do to other things, like based off looks of one gene.
I would have to say pied.
I agree, pied or clown.
I would think
my two.
I think pied. You know, that would
both
be
buttes.
Yeah.
Doc Holliday says Rip Kobe.
Well, yeah. I mean,
well, yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Hey. Absolutely.
Yes. Might be a little late to the party on that one, but
better late than never, right?
But I do agree. The Mamba was amazing, and really he was a truly amazing person. He wasn't just an amazing basketball player. He was
motivational.
Minus the potential rape
accusations allegedly.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anything ever went there. But other than that, motivationally, business wise. He seemed like a great family guy. Don't know him. I don't know anything about him, but he seemed like a great family guy. Obviously very, very well spoken. I think he spoke like 4 languages.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I did not know that. I know almost nothing about him.
Yeah, I mean, he was very, very cerebral. I think that's what made Michael Jordan and Kobe so good, was they were cerebral. They thought not just the game, but they thought strategy. They thought, they were very well-rounded people, and it's not surprising that you have great basketball players. Listen, you have Shaquille O'Neal, you have Michael Jordan, you had Kobe, you have, even Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, these people, many, many athletes, as we all know, make $100 million or $50 million and then somehow file bankruptcy down the road. And you have these amazing, legendary Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, these guys don't just play basketball. They go on to create dynasties,
empires,
because of their unbelievable mental prowess, not because they were a great athlete. Sure, I mean, don't get me wrong, you get 100 million startup capital, but how many people would blow 100 million being stupid? And there has been just a number of athletes of all sorts, from basketball to football to baseball, that are literally broke 10 or 15 years after they do it. But the guys that are the top of their game are on the top of the game because they're so mentally sharp. It's not because they were just great basketball players. And so, I really, I mean, I look up
Rip
to those.
Kobe.
So Rip Kobe, yeah.
Crystal says, hello. I bought my first ever snake. I think its name is Strangles, and it's a corn snake.
Okay.
Can you please tell me what you would recommend for its enclosure? Also, I have a heating pad inside of a light. Did I do that the right thing? Wait.
Okay, so
instead of a light. Sorry.
Instead of a
I have a heating pad instead of a light.
Yeah, I mean, a heating pad instead of a light's fine. That's 100% fine. Just make sure the heating pad doesn't get too hot.
Yes.
I think a corn snake, you probably want a 40-gallon-ish size enclosure. You want to keep the hot spot. That heating pad should be about 90, 92 degrees. Cool side should be about 82 degrees. It should have a hide box. Theoretically, or in the best case, you want a hide spot by the heat and then a hot spot by the cool. Some branches, water, and that's pretty much it. So you're doing good with Stranger.
Heidi says, really hope I'm going to be allowed into the U.S. without the vaccine. Can't wait to see y'all again. Thanks for being so awesome, Brian.
Thank you, Heidi. We were just messaging prior to the podcast. And I mean, it's going to be an interesting year or two to figure that out. I think there's a lot of unknowns right now.
Yeah, for sure.
About coming and going and what that vaccine is going to mean, It's interesting. I was watching CNBC, which is a news business channel. That's the only news I watch. I don't watch any other bullshit news because it is all bullshit. We were talking
bullshit.
About it. It's not news. It's commentary.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment. But I do watch business news just because I like business. I like watching about stock market and all that other stuff. And what they said, and I couldn't agree with them more, is that right now the CDC has to do a better job of, like, if I'm fully vaccinated, which I will be in 2
days.
weeks, I get the second vaccine and then it takes about 2 weeks before you're fully vaccinated. So in a couple weeks, I'll be fully vaccinated. Right now, that does nothing for me other than, and this is very important to me, and this is what I said to one of the guys that really
tore you up.
I mean, just tore me an asshole for getting the vaccine. As I said, I haven't seen my mom in 14 months. On a recreational visit. That alone, I will get a vaccine for, to see my 85-year-old mother that I have now missed 2 birthdays. Yeah. 2 birthdays. She's 85 years old. Obviously doesn't have that many more years left. I pray she has 10 or 12 more years left. but she's getting old, you know,
Yeah.
and I want to see my mother. But other than that, there's really no benefit to being vaccinated right now, which doesn't make any sense. So I think if, you know, the people that are outlying or on the fence that are saying, why should I get vaccinated? There's no benefit to it. If the CDC came out and said, guess what, when you're vaccinated, you could travel wherever you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. Then I think it becomes more
a no-brainer.
Yeah, like people are going to be like, I don't want to get vaccinated, but man, I really want to go do this. And then there's then I know there's the other side of the people are saying, well, then that's bullshit that they're forcing you to do that. But then I also say, no one went to school without polio vaccine.
I know.
Right? You know, no one went into any school without their vaccines. You know,
Blown away.
and so I think it's an argument that has really stemmed from the alt-right. You know, this really heavy, like super right wing. I hate the government. They're trying to put chips in me. They're trying to control me. And when you look at the pure science behind it, when polio was out, they had a polio vaccine so that people didn't become paralyzed from polio and go into an iron lung.
How long did it take them to make the vaccine, bro?
6 months.
Yeah, and a much more dangerous vaccine to fuck with.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, it was from the time that there was the massive polio outbreak, were vaccinating people within 6 months. Yep. And that was before the technology we have now. And we took almost a year before we started, 10 months before we started administrating a vaccine. And we had been working on a coronavirus vaccine for 10 years. Yep. So, I mean, I'm not going to go into any more vaccine stuff. I'm just saying that
we have a lot
argument,
of unknowns.
The argument, I understand people that are apprehensive. Like I said, some people in my family are apprehensive. I get it. But for me, I pray that I get through this and it's done. But I do think that we will have to eventually come up with a system where it makes more sense to get vaccinated. Going back to what Heidi is saying, I think that it does make sense. And maybe people are going to hate me for saying this, but I think it does make sense for people to not be able to come into the country unless they've been vaccinated, because we don't want people bringing in maybe a new variant from another country without a quarantine process or something on that line. So,
I think vaccine or quarantine, either one's fine with me. You know?
And look at Australia. Australia basically avoided the entire the entire pandemic
until the vaccine came out,
because they shut down the country and no one came in that country without a 14-day quarantine. Now I'm sure you could probably travel into Australia with the vaccine. So they were them and New Zealand were really the only two countries that were completely free of this vaccine.
Yep.
I mean, they had
the virus, right?
The virus. I'm sorry. I mean, they had. Maybe I don't even know how many people died in Australia, but it was maybe 100 people total. Yeah. You know, or it was a very low. I might be wrong. I'm talking out my ass, but it was a very, very, very low number. And so I think that Heidi. Now the downside is that it's not that Heidi doesn't want to take the vaccine. It's that her country can't get the vaccine probably maybe until late 2021, maybe even 2022. So it's not fair to her. First, right? It's not fair to her that she can't come because she can't get it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
and that's the bullshit part of this, and that's the part I don't like. And it's the part that, and I'm done with vaccine talk after this. I hope the U.S. government does help other countries.
Of course, man. Yes. Of course. Brassman Reptiles, our boy Jeremy.
What's
got a lot
up,
of friends in the club tonight. You know,
I know
what I'm
a lot of my bros in the house.
He says, "What's up, guys? Looking forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks."
Oh shit, man!
Wait, what's going on? We going to Nerd, or is he coming here?
No, I think he must be coming here because I'm not going there.
Were you coming here?
He did say that he thought he was coming out here for some things and said he wanted to come visit. And of course, I said, of course
not. Don't ever come here again.
You get your
not without that tall guy that you were with last time.
Just Jeremy, leave those nerd mites behind. All right, no. I'm just kidding. So, everyone spreads around that I have them, so I'm going to start spreading rumors about Nerd. Oh, my God.
Yeah, right?
You guys got that.
You got the Dusties.
Yeah, you guys got that Snoopy virus going through your collection.
You're Snoopy. Yeah, but, yeah, I can't wait to see you, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy's always great. We love having him out. Yeah, definitely.
Brandy Lamb says, this is about Arlington's show. It was packed. Masks are optional here, so hugs and pics happen.
Oh my
we spent over $300 on just merch from different tables.
Oh my gosh, that is so dope, man! I love hearing that, Brandy. I mean, fuck, man, it's so difficult.
This whole fucking thing
it's so difficult, man. When I see Houston Astros, the baseball team with a 40,000 person packed thing with not a mask in the freaking thing, I literally get a boner.
Yeah, I pop a little stiffy.
Oh, gotta go in the bathroom.
Gotta go to bed. Go Dougie.
But I mean, you don't understand how different it is up here. You know, I mean, is everything open? Yes, it is. And we should not complain because there are places in the world right now that are shut down so much more than Michigan.
Oh my God, I mean, if you didn't see people with masks, you could fool me into thinking we're completely normal right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you obviously go into places, they have limited numbers and stuff like that,
but I don't see that stuff.
But yeah,
because
you don't go. Yeah, and I don't either. I don't really go anywhere. But or very rarely do I go anywhere. But that's the thing, right? Like up in Michigan, we still don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
I mean, there's guys like me and Jay that are still kind of like.
It's almost became my norm.
Yeah,
it's like,
and then I see Texas and Florida, and I want to be you guys so bad, man. I want to feel what you
remember.
feel
You
every
remember?
day.
I don't remember what state we were in. Maybe it was. What was it? Where was Wilbanks?
Oh, that was Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yeah, we went into the gas station and we had masks on, and no one else did. And they looked at us like we were aliens.
They looked like we were aliens.
Man,
yeah,
that felt good. We both walked out of there with a stiffy, man. That
yeah,
shit
I
was
mean,
crazy.
I took my mask off in the bathroom.
I had to cover my junk with it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I put it around my waist.
Yeah, cover up.
Yeah, no, it's so yeah. I can't wait till we get there. So I'm glad to hear Arlington was packed.
That's a huge deal,
is
man.
So good. I'm happy for my friends Bob and Brian, the promoters, because obviously you can't imagine the financial hit they took when they literally went a year without having a reptile show. And it's not just them. Rami over in California and Bruce in New York and so many of my friends that are promoters that make a living doing reptile shows. And it's cost them literally, I mean, I'm sure no one's feeling sorry for them. I am, because they're my friends, but it's cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of revenue.
Yeah.
So it's great to hear, because they did do a St. Louis show, the NARBC, and it kind of bombed. So I think they've lost money on that show, literally lost money on that show. So it's great that Arlington is going to put a paycheck back in their pocket, because they deserve it.
Avian says, would you get jeweled Lacerda? By the way, I love you, man. You the best.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I love Lacerdas. You know, I think that they're a really underrated lizard. Do you want to punch one up?
Yeah.
Jeweled Lacerda. They are so beautiful, and they can really be. They're almost like a little monitor lizard in a way.
They're really cool.
Tamed down,
Almost like it's like a monitor gecko thing. Like, it's kind of crazy.
And they can be really tamed down and trained, and they can become really good. And then you know, I mean, obviously the jeweled are amazing, but you can punch in just punch in melanistic before the jeweled, just melanistic. You know, so there's melanistics as well. That's a recessive mutation that is super dope as well.
What?
Yeah, so I mean, look at that. It's like a tiny, like a toothless, like a black
Yeah,
monitor,
you know what the face looks like? Almost like the Cayman lizard.
Yeah, a little bit like the Cayman lizard. Yeah,
You know?
so yeah, I was years ago. I was really looking into jeweled Lacerdas and wanting to start.
Hard to get or anything?
No, not hard to get at all. And
Wow, they
I
get
was
pretty big, huh?
Yeah, they get decent size, you know.
Wow.
So I was really looking into doing a big breeding project with them, and then it just never happened.
But that is cool. I've seen the jewel Lacerdas before. I didn't see the black ones. That was really neat.
Yeah.
Solid Serpent says, any plans for a super simple, no music or special effect update focus on all your holdback snakes once a month on Snake Animal Bites channel? ?
Zero chance. So and this be just because no one would watch.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
it'd be you and like 30 other people.
Yeah, there'd be 100 people that would, you know, literally love
Geek
it.
out.
They would love it, and then that would be it. So I mean, unfortunately, this is the thing, guys. I don't make the rules.
I know.
I don't make up the rules for YouTube or social media. I just play by them, right? And when you play by the rules, you have to do sensational titles, you have to do sensational thumbnails, and you have to keep it fast-paced with music and cuts and edits and all those types of things. Now, is there the outlying one that doesn't do that and does well? Of course there is. I mean, there's always going to be that one example. Well, they don't do it and they do great.
Yeah, but that's only person doing that.
Yeah, 99% of people that are doing well on social media are playing by one set of rules.
Yep.
Right? And a no music, no cut update of holdback animals is not going to do it. You know, I mean, I just hate to say it. I wish it would.
We all do, believe me, dude. We love animals just as much as you do.
Do you understand how much easier my life would be if I didn't have to film 25 segments in a vlog and poor Jay didn't have to spend 4 hours editing it all?
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, it would be beautiful.
But that's not the case, man.
But that's not the way the world
and
is.
And let me tell you, it's getting more and more crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's never going to get better.
Yeah, since TikTok came on, the rules have changed again.
Yep.
And the rules have changed to be even more
45
fast-paced.
seconds, quicker, always jumping.
Super fast, super edits. So I'm sorry that you will never see that with us because it just won't work.
I know.
Yeah.
We all love it.
But we are working on a couple things with Animal Bites TV.
Yeah, which is so plans. But
yeah, so we have some plans there that hopefully will come to fruition sometime in 2021, maybe even sooner than later in 2021. It might be midsummer that we might be able to launch some stuff. Because I do want to revive that channel a little bit. I think it's silly to have a channel with 800 and something thousand. I don't even know. Can you look up, can you just punch up Animal Bites TV? I haven't even looked at this channel in 6 months.
Check it out on YouTube real quick.
Yeah, so if you go to YouTube and then just, Snake Bites or Animal Bites, it doesn't matter. I'm just curious. It's got what? 810,000
not
subscribers.
Bad.
I mean, I remember when we had 800, a few months back, and then I haven't even looked at it. So we've gained up 10,000 subscribers without even looking at the channel. But obviously we want to revive that channel. I think it is. But unfortunately, dude, I wish, brother, that or sister, whoever you are, that we didn't have to do that stuff, but that's just not the way the social works.
Matt asks, do you prefer misting or water features with your tropical or high humidity animals? You have to mist though, right?
Well, I think it really depends on the animal, right? Because let's say a caiman lizard would, a waterfall or a water feature is better than misting, but you can mist too. But then a chameleon, a water feature does nothing for, so it really depends on the animal, like the green basilisks do really well with the water feature without misting.
Where like a green tree python would be the opposite.
Yeah,
almost, right?
Exactly. So it really depends. I love the look of water features. I think that if I had my druthers, almost every cage would have a water feature in it because I think it's just so tranquil and so serene. I love walking through the Reptarium in particular at night when everyone's gone and I can just listen to the waterfalls and walk around. I mean, it's that's what I really like. But with water features also come problems.
The biggest problems we've had have come from water features.
Water features are a pain in the butt. But again, now we're talking about adding an entire level of nothing but water. So that'll be interesting.
Let Roses Burn says the vlog with Noah and the Argus babies was great. He had the biggest grin on his face. Did he name them yet? I don't think he hasn't. He has an idea for one, but he hasn't cemented it yet. So
yeah, and he was super geeked. He's messed with them every day, and it was great to see. I knew he was going to be geeked because he loves monitor lizards, and I wanted to get him some monitor lizards that he could work with from the start, not take over someone else. And for whatever reason, he was really drawn to Artemis Prime and
it is strange, right?
Yeah. He just loved Artemis Prime.
That.
And so now he's got 2 little baby Argus, that are just like Artemis Prime and he can really mold them into the lizards that he wants to mold them into. It's just going to be a matter of how much he wants to work on it, but I think he's going to be motivated to do it.
Hell yeah. Zachary says, if you go to Denmark, sneak me back a pied Brazilian rainbow boa. I'm still trying to justify the cost of importing a pair to add to my collection.
Zachary, do you happen to know how much those cost? I don't know because
you can put it even in the comments.
Yeah, you can
whatever.
just put it in the comments. I actually follow the guy that has the pieds, and I know he's from Denmark. They're not like. I think that they're the. It's interesting. It's almost like the pied retic, where it wasn't like a pied ball python, and it's a pied, 100% pied. As a matter of fact, punch it up. I'm sure they're there. Pied retics. Pied Brazilian rainbows. I mean, they're cool, but they're not like shockingly.
It's almost like a pied side corn or something, right?
Let's see what we got here.
These ones, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's an extreme version.
Yeah, this is typical. I think. Right?
I think that's an extreme version.
Wow, really?
To be honest with you, most of them are like that's like the nicest ones.
Yeah, these are nice ones.
Most of the ones he has are just barely pied.
Let's see. I'm trying to find a.
But
I agree. Yeah,
I think that
like almost like this, right? Isn't it usually? No, still.
That's not. Yep. No, that's not even it. Yeah. But anyways, doesn't matter. The point is that it's much like the original pied retics came in, and they weren't that interesting. I mean, they were pieds, but they weren't like piebalds like ball pythons. And then by breeding them into some other lines, they were able to really make them 80% white. Whereas the pied rainbow boas are like 20% white. Something like 10% white sometimes. almost more like a ringer ball python.
Oh, okay.
And but I follow that guy, and I've been following along with his pieds ever since. But I've never reached out to him to ask him what they cost, and I don't know that I would ever want to jump into the project or not, because that's really not my world anymore, like breeding investment animals. But I do love rainbow boas, and I would love to have some pieds. So I'm just very curious what they cost.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so let me know in the comments.
V-Dog says, thank you for setting a positive example by getting the vaccine and talking about it. I'm a firm believer as well that this is going to be the way we can open up the world again. 100%.
Well, thank you. And trust me, I've taken plenty of abuse.
yeah.
I've taken so much abuse. Is that Sue? Did Sue just say?
No, it was V-Dog. Oh, wait, did you say?
The next one. The next I think you're the other way. I think, yeah, you're up.
Up? Are you sure?
Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Right here?
Yeah. That's our Reptile Army.
Oh, that's literally. Oh,
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So Susu, she says, "Hi guys, I'm with the family. We all got our shots. We are all masked up, listening while we celebrate my B-Day. Looking forward to more egg time."
Well, first off, happy birthday. Secondly, you are so instrumental in everything that we have going on.
Yeah.
And
we love you guys.
Yeah, we love. I mean, literally, you're making my dreams come true to try to really change people's minds with this. Because I have always been known to wear wacky, weird shirts.
Yeah.
To be able to create designs that are unique to us, to our brand, and without you, we can't do that. I mean, yeah, there are other designers out there, but you really get what we're trying to do. And by the way, I have a couple new ideas that I'll be shooting you an email on. Don't stop, please keep coming. I mean, I know that we have a bunch of designs that we didn't launch. Those are launching next month. We can only launch so many per month because we don't want to overwhelm people.
But keep them coming, because having that docket's good.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, we'll just keep on going all year long, and you're amazing. So happy birthday, and I'm glad that your families all got your shots. That's amazing. I do agree with V-Dog that this is the way to open the world up. But at the same time, I will never judge anybody for not feeling that way. But what's going to happen is when we're done with this, the people that didn't get vaccinated are going to be able to enjoy their life because of the people that did.
Hell yeah.
And that's
we were talking about that the other day.
That's the reality of it.
Let Roses Burn came back and says, I view it as the vaccine protects me, even if I don't get the virus or do get the virus. And wearing a mask is protection for others. It's just people don't give a crap about anyone but themselves. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. It really is. And we can argue all day long about what was right and what was wrong. But in the end, we just have to go down the path, whatever path it takes to get us out of this shit.
No, for sure.
And that's all I care about.
Boss Ham says, my girlfriend can't take the flu or any vaccines because she could die from them. She shouldn't be forced to take it to be able to do anything. The chance of death with a virus with 99.98 chance of survival.
Okay, so let me just, I'm gonna come at you a little hard, and I apologize in advance, okay? Tell that to the 3 million people's families that died, okay? Yeah. Now, I think that there should absolutely be something for your, I'm sorry.
Outlier.
Was it
girlfriend,
right?
Yeah.
And I think there will be. So I think that there'll be things like, all right, you can either be vaccinated or have a test within 48 hours to go to this event.
Right.
I think that's going to be. I don't think there's going to be that many situations that say if you don't have a vaccine, you can't do this. Yeah. I think it's going to be if you don't have a vaccine or you haven't been tested. And now, listen, I think it's not going to be 48 hours. I think you're going to be able to walk up into a concert. And shortly enough, they're going to be able to swab you and give you the test within 5 minutes, and you're going to be able to walk through that door. And I think that for if you are a person that thinks that it's okay that everyone else is taking as much precaution, but you shouldn't have to, and you could potentially get other people sick, then that's very selfish. Yep. It really is. And I'm sorry to come at you like that. I'm just saying that the people that are like 99.9%, I get that percentage. 3 million people died.
You're talking about 7 billion people. That's still a big number.
3 million people died. And even the people that say, yeah, but the numbers are bullshit. Okay, I'm going to give you 20%. I'm going to give you 20% of the 3 million people that are bullshit, that died from a heart attack and got marked COVID or whatever. That still means there's 2.4 million people that are not on this planet because of that. A normal flu season, a few 100,000 people died. That means 10 times the people in the last year died from COVID than would from the flu. So please do your research before you start saying that it's not dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It kills people. And listen, I'm not trying to get in an argument with you here. I'm just trying to tell you, yes, your girlfriend should not have to not be able to do things because she can't take the vaccine. 100% understand that. I appreciate that. She should still be able to do things, but not at the peril of other people. So she should have to get tested if everyone else is vaccinated.
Yeah.
And I would do that. I have done that. I've been tested multiple times.
Yeah.
Right. And when I do things, actually, I get tested.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to walk away from, I don't want to get anyone else sick. You know, I mean, yeah, I'm a pretty young and in shape guy where I think I'm okay. But I don't want to get someone else sick and have them die, because if I got someone else sick and had them die, I couldn't live with myself. And so I appreciate the fact she can't get the vaccine. Good for her. I mean, you know, not good for her.
But like she shouldn't be compelled to do that, obviously. But.
And I think that if anyone says that, okay, you can't medically get the vaccine, but you can't do things, I think that's wrong. Yeah. I think that's 100% wrong. But I do think at that position, it should be, if you get the vaccine, you can come in. And if you didn't get the vaccine, we're going to give you a test right now, and you're going to just make sure you're negative. Okay. And I think that I think if that isn't okay for you, then I don't understand where you're coming from. And I don't understand. And if that means that you're never going to follow me again, I apologize in advance, because I didn't mean to come at you so hard. I'm just talking the truth.
Amber says a friend keeps a rosy boa and an alligator lizard in the same tank. Thoughts? Not me. Haha.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely not do that. You know, for a couple reasons. Rosy boas eat lizards in the wild. Alligator lizards, the Bronia, will definitely bite stuff. And could bite the snake. Yes. So you basically have both ways. You know, the rosy boa could eat the abronia. The abronia could hurt the rosy boa. And probably more importantly, is rosy boas are a desert animal.
I know.
And abronia are a cloud forest animal.
Such a complete opposite.
You could not ask for two different environments. So I would say very, very bad choice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sherry says, hey, Brian and Jay, vaccines are personal, but the more to get vaccinated, the sooner we get back to normal. Yeah. Sorry for the hate. Mass may be with us to stay for a while. Today's vlog is great, positive vibes.
Thank you so much, Sherry. I appreciate you. And again, I don't want to create conflict. I don't care. It is a personal decision. Now, if you have a medical decision like earlier, that's different. Then it's no longer a personal decision, and we have to somehow, as a society, understand how to do that. Keeping in mind that down the road, we're not talking about forever. We're not talking about if you're not vaccinated 3 years from now, you don't get in. Yeah. I think this is a short-term thing. Even the most left-wing, leaning
crazy
people think that eventually this will probably in America, this will turn from a pandemic to an epidemic.
Yep.
This year, right? The flu is an epidemic. It's not a pandemic, right? And so we will probably see this turn into something that will come back every single year.
But it'll be like the flu.
But it'll be more like the flu. Less people will catch it. We'll have more immunity, herd immunity, on and on. And eventually, a year, 2, 3, whatever it is, this will kind of just be part of our lives again. It won't be
controlling our
lives or whatever. And so I don't think your girlfriend's going to have to test for the next 10 years to get into an event. But I think that and again, I just want to wrap this up. If you don't want to get it, that's fine. I'm not going to be mad at you. I just personally think it's the best choice.
So I just want to come to say, because Boss Ham's commented down here, and this is what life's about, bro. We're supposed to talk. We're supposed to have fun.
Yeah.
He says, you don't need to be sorry about coming at me. I'm just saying that no one should be forced to take it.
Right.
Most people should take it, but I'm just saying no one should be forced.
Yes.
Love you, Brian.
Well, listen, I appreciate
and we love you, Boss Ham.
I appreciate
seriously.
that you took it the way you did and didn't get mad, because I don't want anyone mad at me. And I think I'm super happy that you took it that way. But I do think it's a bummer to be in a position where you can't. And I know a couple other people that are the same way. You know, one of my dear friends, Paula, she can't take the vaccine. Her husband took it, but she can't take it because of her allergies.
Yeah.
And that's scary. You know, I mean, she wants to take it. That's the thing. She wants it.
Yep.
She just knows she can't because she knows that she will.
But even what you said before, Brian, about like the people that do get it will carry the bulk for the people that don't, right?
Right.
So. Yes, understandable. There's going to be outliers that can't get this vaccine, but everyone else that can should, right?
Yeah,
like if they can,
right.
But
And
I agree.
And there should be accommodations for the people that can't.
I agree.
So that they don't get ostracized. Like
Yeah,
you stay in the corner.
No, you non-vaxxer.
Fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've told you, I'm not going to name who, but there's at least one person in my family that is adamantly opposed to it. So I may be getting on a plane with a vaccine card, and they may have to get tested. And that's the way life's going to have to be for the next year or two.
Absolutely. Roberta says, sending love. When are the live cams coming back?
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize.
We didn't even know they were off, dude. Sorry, y'all.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Didn't either. We haven't even thought about it.
Even thought about the live
years,
cams.
it feels like.
At least, because that's the same thing. We kept on having problems with those, and
seems like a common denominator here.
Yeah, I'll. Wow, I'll check into that. I apologize.
We love you guys. Thank Jay says, love you all. Chin up and fight on.
Thank ya.
Appreciate you, bruv.
Thanks, Dank.
Solid Serpent says.
Oh, speaking of Dank, did you see I love this, the dispensary that's opening up down the street?
Oh, dude, you don't even know.
It's named Puff.
Puff. It's great. Beautiful.
That's a great name.
And especially because you could be like, if you're trying to puff, pass by Puff.
Pass by Puff.
You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah. I think it's...
dude, first day both those open, I'm going to both of them. I'm like, listen, okay, guys, so I work at the Reptarium down the street.
Yeah.
We send a lot of people, and I will pay. You guys give us a deal. We'll work this out. Just letting them know if they're watching the podcast.
Do I wish I could smoke weed. And
One day,
maybe one day.
Once you get that wine going.
My goal in life is to be a pothead.
Yeah. That's not a bad goal, dude. Not a bad goal.
I can't do it, but I want one day, I have a dream.
Dude,
I have a dream
when you get that wine
pothead.
flowing one day, we'll figure it out. We'll get it moving.
Yeah, Lori tried a couple times.
It's great. It's a beautiful thing.
She did good.
Yeah, it's a good thing. But yeah, we have one down the street coming up soon. So
yeah, Puff. I tell you what, I admire it seems like the people that own dispensaries are very good at names.
Yeah, dude.
There's Cloud is one.
Yep.
And now Puff. So
Live's a good one.
And the House of Dank.
House of Dank's a real good one.
So that's for you, Dank J.
Solid Serpent says, so I have to plan a trip and book a special tour of BHB for my special needs, huh? Fine. Maybe when I come pick up my baby mole snake. Winky face. Oh, I am a man.
Okay, yeah, you're a man. Yes, and you do have to do it. And listen, if you don't have a vaccine card, I'm not letting you in.
You stupid bitch. You ain't coming in here.
You ain't doing it. I ain't getting you in the fucking door.
That's funny, though. Yeah, imagine that. A special BHB tour. Just show ball pythons for 2 hours.
Yeah, and that's seriously, I would love to do that. Listen, I can guarantee you, if you come and we look at ball pythons, we will spend more than 2 hours.
Yeah, dude.
I will sit there and talk.
We nerd out.
I will talk your ear off for 5 hours about ball pythons, and you will get more than your video's worth. I can guarantee you that. But I wish the world was different. I really do. I love. There's so many times where Jay and I both would love to do nothing more than just sit down and just look at the snake, look at this,
and
snake,
just also talk about genetics and talk about we find all that interesting, But
look at even like Kevin McCurley is a perfect example at Nerd, right?
Yeah.
Like he'll do more sensational. Donnie will put out a video with a title and a thumbnail, sensational, blah blah, and they'll get maybe 20, 30, 40,000 views, whatever it gets. Sometimes hundreds of thousands of views.
Of course.
Then Kevin will sometimes do a video of him just sitting there with and it's always weird. I think I love Kevin.
I love Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin.
Kevin, we love you to
but
death.
Sometimes it's always weird when he shows off baby ball python morphs. They're always in water.
I know.
Dude, they're always soaking in water.
You know what it is though?
You
ever put like lotion on your new tattoo and it looks nice?
Better.
Yeah, it gets a good shine to it.
But I always think about that. Why do God smell your snakes in water? It's like ball pythons aren't water snakes.
That's really funny. I never thought of that.
But I love you, Kevin. I'm sorry I got to rip you a little bit. But that video where he'll just show all this eye candy, this beautiful living art, gets 2,000 views.
Yeah.
And
that's the cap.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way. I mean, I wish it wasn't that way. But
there's got to be more than 2,000 people like us, right?
I think there's 10,000. That's what I think.
Sad.
I think there's 10,000 because if you look at Justin Kabelika, you look
all
at
the people that do it, right?
All the people, Miguel, every now and then they'll have an outbreaking video, but for the most part, they're just showing animals, and they get about 10,000 views. Sometimes less, sometimes a little more, but that
average,
seems to be about the average there. So it seems like it's really hard to break out of that 10,000 person mold when you're doing really kind of just showing off snakes.
Yeah. And we try not to even do that with any of the animals. We try not to just show you something because I mean that's what we're doing, right? Hey, look at this beautiful lizard.
Yeah.
It's almost awkward,
Yeah.
we tried our best to what is this lizard doing?
Yeah.
What can we
showing
show
the
you?
behavior, showing the training, showing something on that lines. And it's because we're trying to reach outside of the reptile army. Now, listen, I understand that there's more than 10,000 people that would like that content, but that's about how many watch that content.
Right.
There's millions of people in the world that would love that content, but they don't get served that content because of click-through rate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. Rosie, she says, "Hi, Brian and Jay. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Rosie.
Do you think you'll ever get a pied alligator for the Reptarium? They're so awesome."
Gosh,
he wants to.
I like you,
oh,
Rosie.
Baby girl.
You talking dirty to me now,
Yeah,
girl. Pied alligator is. I shouldn't say it's on the top of the list because there's so many things on the top of the list. But no, pied. I will one day own a pied alligator. I mean, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Yeah. And the only difference is that if one comes available, or if Greg Graziani has the largest group of pied alligators.
I did not know
and
that.
that's where Salt and Pepper came from. So when he gets his pies to breed, and I have no idea where he's at with that project. I reached out to him last year and asked him if he was going to produce, and he said not last year. I don't know if that means this year he's going to produce or next year, but he knows I'm interested, and he knows that I'll be ponying up the money when it's available.
Potterhead came back and says, "We still need pull that shit up, Jay merch."
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We got to do a lot of that type of stuff for sure.
Zachary says, "I haven't talked price yet, but I will be in the next couple months.
Okay,
waiting
gotcha.
on my hypo het T."
Yeah, T negatives. Yep.
Okay. I didn't see that. By T negative Colombian rainbow boa.
Okay, good. Yeah, so he's got T-Neg Colombian rainbows. Yeah, so we have them as well. They're really cool. And it'll be interesting to see what he prices those pied rainbows at. Because when the albino rainbows, the T negatives came out, they were $25,000 a piece. Now I think they're down to under $5,000, if I'm not mistaken.
So crazy.
It is still a niche-y market, the rainbows.
Yeah, of course.
They're not like...
Which I don't understand. I don't know how rainbows aren't more popular. I really don't. They're beautiful,
they're
man.
They're beautiful. They really, and typically very docile. I mean,
not as super big, but very impressive.
Yeah, but the T negatives didn't pop as much as I expected them to. They dropped pretty quick. And actually, my buddy, one of my guys I know real well, Ian Nazdowski, is the one that brought the first albino T-negative rainbows in, both Colombian and Brazilian, ironically enough, and as well as the leucistics as well, Colombians. But I don't know what I don't know what a fair price of that pie. To me, the T-negative albino rainbows, which pull that shit up. T-negative, or probably just albino Brazilian rainbow. You could probably just albino Brazilian rainbow. I'm sure you can find that. It'll probably have. There you go. Yeah, no, that's a Colombian right there. That was a Colombian.
That was a Colombian?
I think it was a Colombian. I think the one right there is
one?
the Brazilian. Yeah, that's the Brazilian.
Go.
So, and you could see the one down, like 3 rows down right there.
Here?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's another one. So, I mean, they're very pretty.
Dude,
very pretty.
Great color.
Whereas you can see, if you punch up that Colombian up that you first punched up, the one up top left, yep, there you go. You can see the difference between those two, right? That's
pale yellow versus
pale yellow,
bright
whereas the reds, oranges, and so that's a really beautiful snake, So if that snake came in at 25, even though the pieds are more rare now, which, by the way, look at this snake a little bit. Is that what is it? Oh, that ghost Colombian. That is beautiful.
Where do you
remember
see this? Over here?
Yeah, right there.
Oh my dude, Brian,
yeah,
bro.
That's beautiful. Yeah,
that's I
remember there was a guy in California at the Pomona show that had them, and I didn't buy them, and I wish I would.
Do they have axanthic?
I mean I
know this is
about
close.
as axanthic as I could get.
I just didn't know if you added like axanthic, you take that yellow out.
But yeah, I should probably get those.
Those are sick.
But I think my point was I think the pied Brazilians aren't as impressive as the albino Brazilians.
Right.
They are more rare, so maybe they'll come in at $25,000. I don't know. I could never, even when I was in the investment world and I was spending that kind of money on snakes for breeding, I wouldn't pay $25,000 for them. I just don't think they're worth $25,000. I think that the ceiling is probably $10,000, $12,000, maybe $25,000 a pair. I would think so, but I have a feeling he's going to be asking more like $20,000, $25,000 a piece.
Sherry says, want to compliment Jay on his camera work, of course, but how fast he reacts to topics in the live stream. He shows pictures from the web with lightning speed. He reacts to comments so fast. Thank you, Sherry.
Oh, he's so fast. And I've heard from his girlfriend, he's just as fast in the bedroom.
Damn, you guys were talking about that all upstairs,
we
man?
were talking about it.
I tell you, that's the third whooping I got to give her tonight.
She said no more than 30 seconds.
30 seconds, man.
30-second man.
That's so
but he does it 6 times in a row.
Yeah, so I'm a little jackrabbit in there,
He's
bro.
like a lion. Do you know lions? What do lions?
They just pump, dude. They go boink,
I think it's like, but they'll do it like 50 times in a row, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think
that's my type of company, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the company I choose to keep. Glug
ooh,
says, have you ever considered getting eels?
Yes, of course.
I got one for you too when you're done.
We are definitely going to get some eels when we do 4.0. Exactly what type of eel, I don't know yet. Maybe a moray, certainly some of the spotted eels are incredible. Eels will be a part of the aquarium for sure.
Dude, so there's an animal I've always wanted to like be closer with. These peacock mantishes, right? You got to get one for
they've got the fastest punch in the world.
Fastest punch equivalent to a 22 Magnum, and their vision, they have 18 or 20, I can't remember, 18 or 20 cones.
Wow.
In their eyes. So we only, as humans, have 3. We have red, blue, and green.
Right.
They have 18 different colored cones, so they could see like almost like the whole color spectrum. Wow. Very interesting. So
yeah, no, I like those. They're super cool.
They are crazy.
Yeah, I would totally get those.
Prehistoric Companion says, wish I could contribute more to your cause, but I'm a poor mailman. Haha, I watch all vlogs and podcasts. Thank you so much, guys. Keep it 100. I'll scoop up some Reptile Army merch next paycheck.
Thank you so much. And again, I've talked so highly about mailmen in the past.
Yeah, dude.
For some reason, I have like a thing about mail people. I like mail people.
He's like, I just wanted.
They work so fucking hard.
Dude,
you know?
do.
I mean, those poor male. I see people that was mailmen, male women and men walking, male persons.
It's mostly women now. I feel like I see so many male women.
But I mean, they're just like walking around. It's like raining. It's snowing. It's sleet.
Crushing
they're out there freaking. I mean, my God.
Getting
God
me
bless
my,
you guys,
random stupid shit.
I mean, you guys should get paid more. I don't know what you get paid, but you should get paid more, because you're not getting paid enough.
Yeah, you need doctor salaries out there.
Yeah.
Maggie says, Brian, I want to shake or slap my niece. Her dad died from COVID. She doesn't believe in any shots.
Wow.
I'm bedridden and am trying to get the shot.
Well, I hope that you can get the shot, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Of course, man.
And that's what brings it home, right? Like Heidi, our friend, was on earlier. She lost her mom to COVID this year. And I don't know a lot of people, in all honesty, I don't know a lot of people that passed away from COVID, but I do know people that relatives passed away from COVID.
Yeah.
And I know people that are having still long-lasting effects from COVID. So listen, it's somewhere between really bad and not so bad, but it's not nothing.
Yeah.
It's not nothing. It's what you got to remember is when you look at that 98.004% or whatever it is, 0.4, 0.6, whatever number you pull out, because there's some difference in the numbers there. You also have to remember that it's 4 to 8 times more contagious than anything else. So even though the number is low as far as the infection rate to morbidity, a lot more people are getting this than they would ever get something that had the same morbidity, right? So like H1N1, for instance, which had very similar morbidity, only about 575,000 people died of that, over the course of years. Whereas we had 3 million people die of COVID in 12 to 14 months.
Yep.
So that's something to not sniffle at, And
I'll say one thing too, man, because we've talked about it this whole time,
Yeah.
And I agree. I think there's some funky business with numbers, obviously, but if you go look up how many people died this year versus every other year, there is a chunk of way more people that died. Yeah, no matter what you want to call the numbers, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
More people died.
More people left this earth this year than they did on a normal year.
It's not from car accidents.
By a considerable amount. So, listen, everyone has to fight the fight. I think that, I as Jay and I are very similar when it comes to, we're very seldom black or white.
Yeah.
We're usually gray.
Yep.
And I'm a gray person for sure. I'm right in the middle.
Your shirt's
and I
even
see
gray.
both sides. And my shirt is even gray.
That's crazy.
So I'm not a hard right guy. I'm not a hard left guy.
Me neither.
I'm right in the middle. And I believe in some
sensibly center.
Yeah, I'm sensibly center. And I just look at things from a science standpoint. I look at statistics and I just we can argue all day whether we should get the vaccine, and we could have done something different, but we're down this path and we've got no choice but to come back from it. So, and listen, I'm from Michigan where they were very, very tight with the legislation or the restrictions, I should say. And it pisses me off that places like Texas and Florida were not strict and really didn't fare much worse.
I know.
Right? So I'm not mad at Texas or Florida. I'm mad at the fact that why were we so strict and they weren't?
With almost zero different result.
And we almost had the same result. So like, why did we suffer twice as much or 10 times more than them? Yeah. And they basically had almost the same results as we did. So so we can argue that all day. We can
and we're
argue
both
that,
with you.
Yeah, we can argue that because listen, and yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more to the story that I'm not going to share, but that's not neither here nor there.
Simple Man came in. He says, coming in late. Hope your day's been well. Just sending some love.
Simple Man, you are always awesome, man. I owe you so much. I mean, you're always so supportive of us, and I hope that everything is good for you, man. I appreciate you.
Rare Dog says, there will be one Canadian in Arlington tomorrow morning. She will be wearing a mask. She already got her first jab, and being part of the solution makes me feel pretty great.
That's awesome. Well, I am glad of that. And the interesting thing about Canada is that you can fly into the U.S.
That's so stupid.
But you can't drive across the border. So, of course, most Canadians that used to do Tinley, and maybe that might be different now because maybe now everyone's going to fly to Chicago, but they used to always drive, and that's why a lot of people came to visit us at the Reptarium because you basically almost have to drive by the Reptarium to get to Tinley coming through Toronto, through Windsor or the Blue Water Bridge. So it was now maybe some of those people from Canada will fly in like I can fly to Toronto, but I can't drive to Toronto. Toronto's 2.5 hours away.
That's dumb as hell though, right?
I mean, Windsor is 20 miles from my house, Windsor, Canada, and I cannot drive across the border. As a matter of fact, did you hear about my tour a few weeks back?
Which one?
They were from like Alabama or something like that. And they tried to drive across the border.
Yes. Wait a second. Are you sure it was Alabama or was it Georgia?
It could have been Georgia.
It's one of the dudes. Is it the dude that really liked Noah's Raps?
I don't know.
Right?
I don't remember.
I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, he watched the podcast.
Yeah, it was a group of like 4 people from. It could have been Georgia. I apologize if you're watching and I forgot.
Yeah.
But they're super great people, by the way. Super, super fun people. But they were just like, they saw a bridge to Canada. They're like, let's go. Not only can you not go, but they didn't even have passports.
I know. It's so
even
good.
In normal times, you're not getting across the border. So they, of course, got stopped, and then they got, they get out of the car, search the car, They had all this stuff just to, So
what a nutty thing.
It was awesome. I love it. But they had a great experience, and they were super, they were like, it was cool.
It was cool. We got stopped at the border. Love it.
Fun. Yeah. It was
and a lot of people in the rest of the country don't realize the anxiety you get driving in some areas up here. I mean, if you go to Port Huron,
if you accidentally,
it's the last exit before Canada. So if you mess up and make a right, you're donezo, dude.
Yeah, and once you get off, there's no I'm just going to make a loop-de-loop and go back. You're like now in custody.
Yeah, and now they're searching your car,
and that custody could last hours. I always say I am never more freaked out. You guys know I deal with anxiety and stuff like that.
Oh, who you?
Yeah, me.
Who? Brian?
There is nothing more scary to me than when you're in a border hell. And what I mean by that is you're not in America, you're not in Canada. You are in some in-between thing where they can do anything they want.
Yeah, there's no jurisdiction.
Yeah, I mean, the American Border Patrol can hold you for up to 48 hours with zero reason. 48 hours, they could just take you out of your car and throw you into a room for 48 hours.
Which is so scary.
I personally, myself, Lori, and some of my crew were held one time for 7 hours.
I could not even, dude.
7 hours for no reason.
You'd have one less crew member because I'd be dead.
Yeah. And, well, we ended up having to, one of our crew members, I won't mention names, they're no longer with us anyways, but we had to make him go sit in the car because he was ready to go after the border control guy.
No fucking way.
Yeah, I mean, this was after like 5 hours, and the guy was just a dick. There was no reason to hold us. None. Zero. They had X-rayed our vehicle twice, X-rayed it twice.
Yeah.
took everything out twice, had me take everything out once. So there was nothing there.
Yeah.
There was no reason for them to hold us. And after 5 hours, he was starting to get like heated. I mean, like heated,
I could imagine. I would too.
And it
you
was
know?
like, all right, you go sit in the car. Because you cannot be
can't
here
fuck this up
anymore.
worse.
Because you attack that guy, we're going to be here for we're going to be in jail.
Couple months.
But good that you're going to be in Arlington. Have a great time.
Brian says, hi, Brian and Jay. I've been waiting to start breeding ball pythons. Any advice on a few morphs to start with to create building blocks? Thanks.
I think that it just depends on where you want to go.
Where's your palette, baby?
Yeah. It depends on what you want to do, and really, so there's 3 things to consider. One, what really do you love and want to work with? What morphs really get you excited?
Colors.
Yeah. 2, what's your budget? Because that's everything, right? You could really want a Pompeii, but you can't afford a Pompeii,
right.
So you're not going to get a Pompeii. So don't go down that road. And then lastly is space. Do you want 2 ball pythons? Do you want 6 ball pythons? Do you want 200 ball pythons? Those are the 3 questions you have to ask yourself. And then then there's no bad answer beyond that.
Yes.
If it's like, I've got 10 grand, I want to get 10 snakes, and I really like clowns, your answer is get yourself a couple clowns, maybe het for something, get yourself a couple, maybe a pastel leopard clown, you get yourself what, you know what I mean? It becomes pretty simple to go, I can now spend 10 grand on these 10 animals, and I have this palette of clowns and all these combinations of clowns that can really start my project. Now, if you have $1,000 and you only want 3 snakes, totally different. Now you have to look into a different direction. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are the 3 things you have to ask yourself.
One thing I've always did too, like when I first started getting ball pythons, Brian, was like find some type of like pattern mutation you like. Find some type of color mutation you like, and then maybe like some recessive mutation, and like start working with those together, and you'll get cool combos.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You just have fun. Just have fun. That's what it's all about.
Because if you ask me, Brian, and Lori, we'd all say we like different kinds of ball pythons, like different color palettes and stuff.
Absolutely.
So look for those things.
Absolutely, 100%.
Let Roses Burn says we need that's value shirts too, and I agree because I've made it a part of my normal vocabulary now.
That's value.
That's value.
That's value. I mean, whenever something great happens, that's value.
Do you know why it's so funny though? Because kids right now, like the trendy thing right now is like, that's valid.
Yeah.
So it's perfect, dude. It's so good. It gets me so funny, bro.
That's value.
That's value, bro.
That's value.
John says, I would give anything to be able to sit and talk to you and pick your knowledge. I'm doing my best to do what I can for reptile conservation and breeding.
Well, that's awesome. And,
that's what this is
about.
Listen,
I mean, if you get a chance, come to the Reptarium. I'll sit and chat with you for as long as you want. Yeah. I mean, that's what I do. I mean, that's true. Like as soon as this podcast ends, I go upstairs and I'll spend 2 hours just chit chatting with people about animals, and if you want to talk about ball pythons, you want to talk about retics, you want to talk about monitors, you want to talk about anacondas, I'm there to talk. And I could never. I think it's almost weird in a way that since I was 15. All I've ever talked about was reptile. I mean, I've got, listen, I people that know me know that I'm like an onion. I've got lots and lots and lots of layers, right?
Yeah, super stinky, makes you cry.
Yeah, exactly. Really stinky. But the fact is that, the true story in my life has always been reptiles. And I never get sick of talking about reptiles. I never get sick of discussing potential things or behavior or caging or mutations or breeding or hatching or what the market's going to be. I mean, I'm just obsessed with it, and I've been obsessed with my whole life. I think there's probably it's rare to probably have one obsession for so long.
Yeah. No, it's very rare, especially... you have a very quick mind.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I do as well. So I go through things pretty quick. Like, all right, I'm going to do magic tricks for 2 years, and then I'm going to do drums, and then I'll do this. And
that was one thing I always tried to really stay focused because I'm such a random person. Like you said, I'm like a hey squirrel.
Yeah.
So it's
good
like
shit.
I've really tried to keep my focus tight because I could have been one of those people that had 1,800 different hobbies and nomad that didn't know what he was going to do with his life, and so I've always
had
tried
like
to
a pole to hold on to.
Yeah, I've always been like, I'm just going to stay with this one thing, and the thing is that even after all these years, there's still so much to learn.
Oh my God, it's endless,
it's like you can't. There is no end. There is no end to this journey, and that's pretty freaking awesome.
Zoe says, "Would you ever have yellow anacondas again?"
It's a tough one. I like yellow anacondas. I like the way they look. I think they're interesting. They're little bastards. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're not. I have yet to see one that it's really trustworthy. Like I would never pull out a yellow anaconda and hand it to somebody ever, because it's not trustworthy. Even if it's a tame one, it's still not going to be trustworthy. But that being said, I could see getting them. I could see getting some yellow anacondas because, listen, not every display at the Reptarium has to come out. You know what I mean? So especially when we expand, there is going to be exhibits that we can have that are going to be really cool exhibits. Anacondas make great water exhibits. So if I want to have another really cool water exhibit besides water monitors or whatever, a yellow anaconda exhibit might be a really cool exhibit.
They say the same size?
No, they say much smaller.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
You could make a salt and pepper size enclosure for a yellow anaconda, and it would live its whole life there.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
So I could see doing it in the next expansion.
Maria says, "Hey guys, just wanted to say hi really quick. Hope you guys come visit us over in Alaska soon. It's warming up over here, and it's damn beautiful."
You have no idea, Maria. You have no idea.
We just got to knock up a couple states, and then we'll be there.
Ironically enough, I've got a friend of mine named Paul Brizzi. He worked with the Dudesons, and that's how I met him.
Oh,
we kind of became friends. And he's just in Alaska with Steve-O.
Oh my God, really?
And so I was just watching some videos of him and Steve-O like jumping into the ice-filled waters of Alaska.
Oh,
today.
That's awesome!
Just today, I was watching the videos, and of course Paul like did it naked. Steve-O did it naked too. So Paul like went down a ladder and went into the water naked. Steve-O jumped from the top of the boat,
of course,
naked into, and it's ice-filled water.
Yeah, so you could like actually hit your head.
So he's legitimately jumping. Those people are out of their minds.
Yeah. We have that one friend. Theo Jeff.
Yes.
That came with the Ireland boys and stuff. And he's another one, man. I seen him climbing this tower. I mean, hundreds of feet up and just like hanging his feet, just like, this is cool. I'm just like, get out of here, bro.
Well, James Kingston, which is probably the most famous YouTuber that does like high climbing.
Yes, I've seen him before.
Yeah, we hung out with him in LA once, and he lived at the FaZe house a couple summers ago.
Okay.
And so we met up with him at the FaZe guy's house, and he was great. And this is an interesting thing. He told me he's terrified of heights.
Weird.
Terrified of heights. And this guy like climbs thousands of feet high. He's been like arrested in Dubai. He can't go back to Dubai. He's been kicked out of Dubai because he
trying
was
to climb the Burj.
He was climbing. No, he's climbing the cranes on top of the giant buildings, and he got busted. But those guys are a special breed, man.
100%. Stephanie asks, "Good evening.
Good evening.
Your thoughts on a king snake as a first snake?" I love the lavender snows.
Yeah, they can be great for snakes. They are a little squirmy. They like to pee a little bit on you and stuff like that. But they calm down. They calm down, and they're really good pets. So I think as long as you don't mind a little bit wiggly in the beginning, a little bit of peeing on you in the beginning, typically don't bite much. I mean, they really don't bite hardly ever. And they grow out of it pretty quick. I mean, within a few weeks of handling, it calms down. So, and then they become a really, really good pet. And ironically enough, we have lavender snow cow
on the docket,
that's
right?
About to lay eggs any day.
My mommy,
Lisa,
she says, "My poor ears," because this is about my 2 seconds in bed.
And
she says, if it acts like a lion, it looks like a lion, it probably is. Love you, Brian, and my boy. Love you too, Mom. Thanks for that.
But yeah, Mama Tomsky, I'm sorry to tell you,
you raised a chump, a 2-pump chump.
Your son is known for that around these parts.
Yeah, the quickest down this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what they call me, dude.
Yeah, quickest
they call me Quickasippy.
So Mama Tomsky's going to be
She's coming. She'll be here on Tuesday.
Tuesday, she's bringing the son here.
Yeah, so Mom, see you next Tuesday.
Yes, we look forward to it. I will not see you Tuesday.
But maybe Wednesday.
But I will hopefully see you Wednesday, because hopefully I'll be feeling bright as rain. I hope that I feel great Tuesday.
I think you
will. But if
I
I do feel great Tuesday, regardless, of course, I get my shot on Monday. If I do feel great on Tuesday, I'm still going to take the day to relax, give myself that day. And if I feel cruddy that day, then I'll sit back and hopefully watch some good movies and take some Tylenol and hopefully by Wednesday feel good.
Chill in that backyard, it's going to be nice out on that
Yeah,
day,
man. I mean, I guess it just depends how you feel,
Yeah. Jordan says, "Hey, Brian, super huge fan. I was wondering if I were to buy a snake from you, would I be able to pick the snake up? I live in Macomb, and it would be a dream of mine to meet you."
Absolutely. Yeah. Just give us a call.
$50.
We do pick. Yeah. It's $150 to meet me. No, seriously. That way you save on shipping as well too. We do pickups all the time. So just talk to Beth. She's our office help, and then just ask her when I'll be here. I'm always here, but I'm oftentimes maybe I'm on a tour, maybe I'm
on the toilet.
And but just make sure I'm here if you come and we can meet each other too.
Morph Mixology says,
Jason,
what's up, guys?
What's up, Jason?
Can't wait to come hang out, and we got to get Jay on my show soon. Also, looks like we're gonna have a baby mixology boy coming soon.
I saw that the other day. So congratulations, dude. And absolutely, I really hope you do come out here. And Jay, get your ass on his show.
I know, I gotta do that shit. I love you, bro. You know I got you, bro. 100%.
Yay.
Scottish Rob says, best to all you guys. Looking forward to traveling this September. Going to Bora Bora. Missed going out last September. That's a beautiful place.
Oh, yeah, Bora Bora. So it's interesting. I know a bunch of people that have been to Bora Bora, and it is absolutely gorgeous, but it is a hell of a trip. You know, it's a long way. And so I've wanted to go to Bora Bora, and one day I hope I really will. But I've looked at the flights there, and I mean, it sucks, man. I mean, let's just punch this up for me. Like, go to Google and go DTE to Bora Bora. DTW.
I know. Yeah, I was just like, wait a second, my energy bill.
Yeah.
Let me get to.
Yeah. So see what the flight is. So here we go. The flight's there. 1 day and 4 hours.
Huh.
So that's how long it takes. So you got a 44-hour. Well, this one's a 44-hour flight. That's 29. 28 looks like the quickest flight.
What do you mean? How is that possible?
That's how bad Bora Bora is.
What are they flying in, like a paper airplane? Like, what is going on?
No, because you have to fly. Obviously, you got to get to LAX.
Oh, so these are all the flights together. So, like, with all the flight times and how long it would actually take you. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm like, you're in the air for that long? You're crazy.
You'll probably be in the air for I think it was from LA to Bora Bora was I think it was like 16 hours or something like that.
No way.
But total flight time, you're looking at 28 hours. That's a bitch, you know. Now, interesting enough, our friend Max Strong was just down in Jamaica, and they had some kind of cabanas that looked almost like Bora Bora.
Dude, it was sick, bro.
And it was legitimately just Jamaica, man. That's a freaking 3-hour flight.
Jamaica, man!
Jamaica, man. It's a Jamaica. It's only a 3-hour flight.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think you'll have a great time in Bora Bora. Everyone I know that's been has said such great things, other than the fact that the flight sucks. And for me, I guess that's the thing. If I was going to fly 28 hours, which I have, by the way, my longest flight ever with stops was 44 hours, and that was to Northern Territory, Darwin, just because of shitty flights. But because you could get to Darwin in about maybe 28, 29 hours with good flights. But I had a bunch of layovers and all this bullshit because it was really last minute on a production. But I think that I would go somewhere else if I was going to fly 28 hours, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Bora Bora sounds amazing, but I don't know that I would fly 28 hours to Bora Bora.
Yeah,
I think I'd fly 28 hours to New Zealand or something
yes.
like. Well, you can fly 21 hours. You can fly to New Zealand.
But I know what you're saying. If you're going to do like an almost day flight or more,
Yeah.
you're going to go somewhere you really enjoy, right?
Yeah. Where don't get me wrong, Bora Bora is there's no other iconic place than Bora Bora. You know, that's the most iconic.
It's so nice they named it twice. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So nice they named it twice.
Little Bogus says, I love your stories. What is one of your favorites to tell?
You know, it's funny. I think that, you know, it depends on the genre, right? You know, I've got some paranormal stories I love sharing. I've got, you know, obviously when it comes to travel, I think that
Indo and Africa,
right?
Probably
Indo, you know, the Laban Baju, Astanular trip, which by the way, Lori saw. Brian Cusco, of course, sent me the
what did she think?
She's like, what the hell is this? And I told her, and she just kind of rolled her eyes.
Yeah, of course. You're like, dude, do you know how important this fucking map is to me, Lori?
It's like
she's
it's like my. I think that when I'm 75, I'm going to be telling that story about going to the Bat Cave 100%. In the middle of nowhere in Indonesia, and so that's a great one. And then you know, and then I have some family stories that I like to share. So I mean, it depends on the genre. You know, I always say, I hope that. I want it when I'm old. Unlike most people, I look forward to being older.
Me too, bro.
You know, like I want to be that. This is what. Okay, let me give you the little thing, right? All right, so I want to be. I want to be a black turtleneck.
I thought you were going to say a black old man.
No. I don't want to be a black old man. No.
A black turtleneck.
Tan is okay, but not black.
So
black turtleneck. You know what I mean? Black pants too. Black pants, black turtleneck. You know.
Okay.
I
Steve
want to have
Jobs vibes going
yeah,
on.
I can have white hair. Gonna have white hair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a square glass with a round ball of ice.
Yeah.
With a little bit of whiskey in there, brandy or bourbon. I don't know.
Maybe
what the
some
fuck
water.
I drink.
I'll
I
put
don't know.
orange
Yeah,
food
maybe it'll
coloring
be
in
whatever.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to be the guy that everyone wants to hear his stories of this lifelong adventure.
Yeah.
He's
You're the
been on.
Dos Equis guy. That's what you want to be.
The
Dos
most
Equis.
interesting guy in the planet. Yeah, exactly. And so that's who I want to be. You know, and so I'm building this you know, and we've been on a pause, you know, which kind of sucks. You know, we've been on a year pause where we really.
But other stories, different stories.
Yeah, different stories. And we did go on my first RV trip.
Just
you know,
crazy.
5,700 miles of driving, and
I missed that.
That was great. I mean, that will also be a story I'll tell the rest of my life because there were experiences. The thing that was so great about that trip, it was Jay, myself, Anthony, and Noah, is that really, with the exception of a couple minor moments when things weren't going well, I mean, we all got along great. Like
dude.
there was never any conflict. There was never I hate you. You know, sometimes when you're
it's a long travel.
It's a long travel, lots of on the road, which is can be trying, and you're in this confined space with 4 people, and we all just mainly laughed and had a great time almost the entire trip.
No,
and
barely
so
music. I mean, we maybe in the whole time listened to 4 hours of music.
Yeah, and you figure 5,700 miles, and
That's
we had 4 hours of
driving.
And so I'll always remember that as definitely one of my favorite trips. You know, that's right up there with almost any trip I've ever made.
Ryan says, thanks for the advice. I love almost every morph that I've seen. I don't have a huge budget, so I'm planning on getting a few single gene animals and work my way up.
That's great. Nothing wrong with that at all.
That's the move.
That's the way to go. And remember, it's not a race, man. You know, just take your time, enjoy it, enjoy the journey, and you're gonna do fantastic.
Smart move. Do research before you go buy, because you will go buy a pastel, and then 3 weeks later you're like, well, it's really not that much for a bumblebee. So just get the bumblebee first is what I'm saying.
Yeah. If it's a little bit more, you know, spring a little bit more, definitely.
Andrew says, moving to Texas will be a 3-day trip. What is the best way to travel with a small snake?
I would put
Beautiful name.
I would put it in a depending how small it is, in a deli cup that has holes, or a pillowcase / bag, snake bag, and then have a styro lined box. In 3 days is not a problem at all. You know, just make sure that it's comfortable there. You can take it out when you stop and give it water and stuff like that. Don't need anything else. It just makes sure that it's not too hot, not too cold. But that styro box, you can get cryo packs. It's something that you can order. So if you go to any of the shipping reptile shipping companies, they'll sell you a box styro and cryo pack. That'll keep the temperatures right. Super simple. Not going to have a problem. Just don't stick it in the back of the truck.
Don't put it in the car for too long.
Yeah, don't sit it in the sun, stuff like that. Just use your brain. What you would do with a baby, do with the snake.
Yep. Maria says, oh my God, Jay, never say see you next Tuesday to your mama. Sorry, man. I had to do it. I'm glad you caught it, though. That's really funny.
Tell me what that means.
It's the C word. See you next Tuesday. See it? See it right here? You know
I see what you did there, you dirty girl.
It's like sugar honey iced tea, you know what I'm saying, bro?
Maria's a dirty girl.
Ooh, baby. Love you,
dirty
Maria.
girl.
And then Martin says, still waiting on eggs. I paired really late.
It happens. I mean, listen, eggs. I don't think this is late at all, actually.
I think everything, we're just kicking off, right?
I think we're actually early. We're getting eggs now, and we're early,
Earlier than last year, right?
Yeah, last year we had a couple clutches of eggs
by
now, like the beginning of March, but most of our production didn't come till June, July last year, and we're going to probably have as a matter of fact, I marked probably no less than 20 females that are now due. So you figure April, May, early May now, late April, early May. Well, no, it would be late May.
Early June.
Early June. So I think the majority of our production will come the end of May through June instead of June through July. And I don't think many people that's going to be early production. I think most people produce, July, August, September, October, really, when it comes to snakes. So by no means would I say you're late.
And that's it, dude. That's all we got for Soupies.
Super chats, man. So I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about tonight or not, or if we just call it. What do you think, Jay?
Dude, if you got anything else to talk about, besides that, I don't know. There's crazy AI shit going on. What do you want to talk about, bro?
Crazy AI shit.
That's all I fucking watch when I'm home.
Gosh,
I'm excited for all that stuff. As much as it's crazy,
it's really funny.
So excited.
Who was I talking to the other day? I think it was maybe Lori's mom.
Okay.
I can't remember who it was, but it was family, someone in the family, and they were talking about how they didn't want to get the vaccine and all this other stuff. And I said, listen, if right now I could put a chip in my hand, and when I walk into Best Buy, they go, "Hi, Mr. Barczyk. What would you like today? I saw you bought a 19-inch, or whatever.
I'm doing it. I know.
I'm in. Put it in my
ship me up, bitch,
right now, and I can just walk through, and it's just like, all right, that charts your account. You're good to go. I don't even have to go to the register.
Hotel, boom. Just walk into your room. Yeah. 242.
Gas station, punch up, just like fill her up, man. It's just,
dude, I'm with you so much, bro.
I'm in, man.
You know, like how people get upset with like targeted ads, right? Like, oh, they're stealing your information. Like, dude, listen. There's two things that they're going to do with that information. One is going to do for advertisement. That's how they make money. The other one is to study psychology and sociology. That's awesome, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, they already are listening on our phones.
Right now.
They know our phones. They know everything. I'm in. I'm not doing anything that I'm worried about.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not committing any crimes. I'm not doing anything that I'm concerned that, the world can know everything I'm doing. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's like, and
that's what's so funny about the chip thing. I'm like, bro, you carry around a phone and no one even made you do it.
Yeah.
You're already doing the chip thing, dude. It has all your info right here. So it's like, just don't worry about that.
But the interesting thing is that, we know in the next 10 years, not only are chips going to be 100% the thing, everyone's going to get chipped. Not everyone's going to, but it'll probably be
you'll be left
volunteer.
in the dust. I promise you that.
I mean, exactly. People are going to. It is no longer going to be socially awkward to be thinking that you have a chip. But also, we're going to be flying around in drones.
Yeah.
Did you see that Domino's is starting to deliver pizzas in automated vehicles?
I really hope so. Wait, really?
Yeah, it's already started.
So now, was there a hotel?
Actually, why don't you punch that up? Let me see, because I don't want to put out false information. It's just like Domino's, automated vehicles.
Now, wasn't there a hotel we went to, Bri, on our trip that had like this little like
self-driving cars in Texas?
Wow, that's great. In Texas.
Yeah, in Texas.
Look at that cute little thing.
Look at this thing, man. You can't even put a person in it.
You can't even if you wanted to.
It just drives up to your door.
That's so dope.
Just drops your stuff off. Look at that.
I'm into
dope, man.
Yeah, I'm into it.
And there's going to half the roads are going to be filled with that vehicle in 10 years.
Yep.
Or 5 years.
Yeah, and you won't be able to drive a car.
No, exactly.
Because it's going to cause more death. I mean, like, dude, people are just nuts, man. I'm like, the thing is that, like, I get it. It's weird and scary and creepy and weird. And whatever.
Anything new is
I was going to say,
scary,
to your grandparents, the internet was.
Oh, my gosh. To my mom, the internet. She still doesn't understand the internet.
Right. And it's like.
She called them vaxes forever. They're going to vax me? You're going to vax me something?
Not yet, but soon, Mama.
Yeah. She was ahead of the game.
She was ahead of the curve on that one. She's like, Brian, I've been trying to warn you. They're vaxing me tomorrow.
They're vaxing me up, man. I was like, no, Ma, it's fax. Fax. You vaxing me?
What the fuck?
Got a vax over my prescription?
Dude.
So the point is that
you're all in.
The point, 10 years. They say in the next 10 years, we will change more as a civilization than we have since the dawn of time.
I think I need contacts. I need AR contacts.
Oh man, yeah.
I need for sure the Neuralink chip for sure.
Yeah. And you think the Neuralink is a little weird for me. Neuralink is a little weird for me. It really that's going to be a tougher one for me because I don't know that I want people. It depends on how much they like. If I walk into a room and immediately go like, oh, I don't like that person.
No,
about it. Then that might not.
So
be
so Noah and me were talking about this. I think it's going to be more like Xbox chat.
Okay.
Where like you have to get invited in by friends to be able to hear what I'm thinking. Like just like on like.
But even then could be pretty scary, because I think some pretty crazy shit.
Yeah, but I'm assuming like just how in your body right now you could say something in your head, you don't just blat it out, right?
Yeah.
So the Neuralink would probably read like what you wanted to say and what you were actually thinking.
And that I'd be good with that. But
me too.
I'm not worried about it.
I just want to interact with my computer without hands. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. I mean, you think about Google Glass. I mean, that was like kind of ahead of the curve, right?
Right. Almost too ahead of the curve.
Yeah. It was before its time, you know. But yeah, I mean, like our dash cams or I'm sorry, our windshields will become a computer.
HUD, heads up display.
Yeah, it's going to be 100%. There already is that in Corvettes and stuff like that. Like Corvettes, the speedometers in the windshield.
Oh, that's so badass.
So literally, it's like,
and eventually it'll become just a whole screen, and you'll have cameras that will show you the thing.
Yeah, and you probably won't be driving. So as you're driving, thing, you know, you can be
watching
showing
movies.
you it could do whatever we want, you know. And so I'm in. I'm not afraid of technology. I love it.
Cool one that came up. So the reason why I get excited with AI is because it's like having an oracle.
Yes.
Right? Like, you know, we as humans are almost too dumb because we're primates. So we bring a question to the oracle like, hey, how do we figure this out? And it tells you.
Right.
So right now there is a scientist, I can't remember his name, sorry. He worked for 30 years with sperm whales, recording their clicks and their language, very complex language, and then writing down what they were doing. Like, hey, two of them came by my boat and they were swimming around it.
Yeah.
And now they're going to plug all that info into the Oracle AI and hopefully be able to decipher what they're saying. And there's a big chance that Dr. Dolittle is going to happen in the future.
That would be amazing. Yeah,
I think we'll be able to talk to animals in the next 50 years.
Yeah, I already do.
Well, they'll be talking back.
They do.
Yeah, don't tell me they don't. Perdita loves me.
Perdita told me something.
Dude, fuck yeah.
All right.
Cynthia says, hi, Brian and Jay. Just a little something.
Thank you,
gave us a
Cynthia.
little ducky.
You know, my sister's name is Cynthia, by the way.
That is true.
Yes. So
she lives in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Lucky. Solazaki says, love from Portland. Hope to see you soon.
Well, you better get your ass out here, Solas.
I know. Stop fishing all the time, you lazy bum.
Out there, damn it. And we'll hopefully get out to
we got one fish in our in Bowser's tank. You can come fish for him anytime.
Yeah, get Jonah out of
Get
there.
Jonah.
Get Jonah.
Tiffany says, ha, weird. I have an Uncle Brian that breeds snakes.
Really?
Do you really?
That is interesting.
And you must have just found this out now because you super chat all the time, Tiffany.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That Tiffany comments all the time.
That's what I'm saying. She must have just found out.
Either that or she's been drinking a little bit and she's just making shit up.
They were playing Marco Polo before we got on the podcast. Remember? We were sitting in the room and like, these guys play Marco Polo?
Yeah, I was like, what are they doing, man? There's like 800 super...
Just between Tiffany and Potterhead.
Yeah, Potterhead, just like going back and forth. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, just Marco Polo.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you guys actually see that?
yeah, we watch it the whole time. We sit here as soon as we open the thing, we just watch.
We just watch. We just want to know what you're doing. But I don't know. I need some proof about this Uncle Brian.
Simple Man says, what are your thoughts on how long you should keep a snake out of its enclosure? When should you know when it needs to go back in?
You know, that's a tough one. I think it's a great question, actually. And I think it's an individual thing. I think every individual is different, right? Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is that, you know, certain snakes you could probably keep out for 12 hours.
Yeah.
And they're completely fine. Other snakes, if they're out for more than 20 minutes, they start getting antsy. I think you got to read the animal well, you know, see if it's stressing, if it's starting to feel antsy or not. And also, if you do say handle a snake more and then all of a sudden it changes its feeding habits or its habits in its cage, that starts telling you that stress is a factor. So you almost have to take it on an individual basis. And that's what we've had to do with the Reptarium, is find the animals that seem to tolerate the holding, and not all do. Sometimes we bring over a ball python like Honey, and you know, we had 3 come over before we found the one that was okay.
Right.
You know, and I think that's kind of how you got to do it.
Let Roses Burn says, this makes me giggle, man. It says, my boss, who's only like 10 years older than me, still calls text messages emails.
Oh my
That's fucking so good.
I got their email on my phone. Their emails. You gonna email me?
Oh, Tiffany came back. She goes, my grandpa just told me about his brother. So I guess his brother's name was Brian and bred snakes. My brother's name was Brian. He bred snakes too. That's crazy, man.
This sounds like a wives' tale.
Yeah.
I need pictures. I don't believe
I don't believe it. Show me Brian.
Show me Mr. Brian. I think I'm the first Brian to ever breed snakes.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'm back in the old
Can't
days.
Steal my thunder.
No, I like that.
Little Bogus says, thinking about coming out this summer, but it's a 12-hour drive, and I don't know if I can make it in a car with 2 preteen boys. You sure can.
You can. All you have to do is just let them watch porn.
Yeah, dude.
No, actually, preteen. I'm sorry. I'm saying not preteen. Wait a second. Back up. I didn't realize. I'm not saying that. If they were like 15, I would say that would keep them. But
right now,
don't
maybe
do that.
Roblox.
Yeah, so maybe Mario Brothers is good. So I apologize about that to all my fans. I take that back. Oh man, I just
you gotta dig yourself out, man.
Although I'll be totally honest with you, when I was 10 or 11, I would have probably been all about it.
All about a Playboy? You could have kept you busy for a couple months right there.
Dude, you give me, something. No, man.
Man.
When I was 10, I was walking around half the time with a boner. It was true.
I thought it was just because everyone wasn't wearing masks back then.
Yeah, I didn't know what that damn. I was
like, why is this up still, man?
I didn't know what the damn thing was doing. I was 10 years old. I was always erect.
I was erect. That's it, bro. I got nothing else.
That was fucked
That's
up.
where we end, bro.
You can't end any different, man. That's the end, guys.
The best way.
It's going down. It's only going down from here. I got to be honest with you. But no, thank you guys so much for the super chats. You guys were awesome tonight. As always, I appreciate you. Obviously, we'll be back next Wednesday with the checking in. By the way, we're going to try to have Jay the Edutainer on next Wednesday.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
If at all possible. So he'll be in with the fam. But we want to make sure that we got that all set up. And then Noah has definitely been doing really great stuff with the podcast. When I know it's not snake stuff, but please show him some love because I think it's really
I'm excited
cool.
about it too.
Yeah,
so.
it's really cool because he's having local comedians on. It's really fun stuff. Show him some love. He's trying to start his own career with the comic thing, and I support him 1,000%. And I really would appreciate it if you guys support him too. I see Becky my girl
Gallant.
Becky.
She says, just making it for the last of the podcast. I will definitely be watching the replay.
Yeah,
Love
she
always.
actually messaged me on Instagram saying that she was not going to make it.
Well, that's cool that we're
so
not
she
friends
made it
anymore.
At the end. Yeah, damn you. I told her, get her priorities straight.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, who's more important, your family or some random guys on the internet far away?
Exactly, yeah, no, but she looks like she had a beautiful day at the beach earlier.
Good shit.
See how I stalk everybody,
Dude,
I know
I'm the
everything
same way.
about everybody, so I'm an internet troll.
That's Brian.
So yeah, you guys be good, man. Love you guys. I'll see you the next time we do it, and I'll see you tomorrow in the vlog.